Yeah, I'm not really surprised when you had said like this is the first time you're playing anything in 20 years.
Well, no, the first time I'm playing a game on my computer in 20 years because I had consoles. Like I had PS2, I had GameCube, which really like I only had two games. No, I think I had three. I only had two games for GameCube. I had Legends of Wrestling 2 and I had Super Mario Sunshine.
No, okay.
But then the first console I ever got was when I was a little kid. This is um like early, like not early, this was like late 90s. uh I got a Sega Genesis for my cousin. And that was like I basically just okay, I had one game that was like a night. It was like a side scroller,
Mm.
but then I didn't know what the side scroller was, so I didn't call it that. Then uh I had the one like which I believe is considered the best Sonic game of all time, Sonic 2. So I had that. I remember like all the like all the sound effects and the coins and everything. Man, I remember me and my friend in real life, one of them, we like could not jump over this one part in this like game. He was like a knight or something. I don't know. I think I may have also had the dolphin game. I may have had the Echo dolphin game, but it was only like one level. I could never get past another level. I don't know why. I know why. I was stupid, but like,
Well, you never know.
I didn't realize the Deus Ex was almost like a sandbox game, so I was just getting frustrated the whole time.
An immersive shooter is, I think, what many people would call it.
Well, because I was so used to like
Or
Call
an
of
immersive
Duty.
sim, excuse me.
Yeah, like I was so used to like Call of Duty where you just point and click and they tell you what to do. And
oh no,
you have to go. And
you got stuff to do. But no, it was funny that you mentioned this because I went down a weird rabbit hole when we were talking earlier today about consoles and such. Like first thing I ever played with was a Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Duck Hunt, the original Mario Bros, and things like that. And then, of course, a lot of TV, like plug and play, like those like really cheap $10 things that came with like preset games that you would plug into the red and yellow outlets on your old TV. And of course, my dad was big on showing off his, like he loved the Atari games because that's what he grew up with as a kid, or he had the 2600, I guess, when he was a teenager or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I remember playing a lot of Yar's Revenge on this like Atari plug and play thing. And that game came out what 1982 is when it came out.
Games that suck ass. Yeah.
I mean, it's what would you call it? Like a fixed shooter game. Where you're in one position going up and down with the stick. But then I looked it up and it says part of the Yar's series, and I was like, there's no way in hell Yar's Revenge from 1982 has been a popular enough franchise to be a thing. No, not really. But then also in 2024, the most Troon-coded video game that I can think of, like cover. I'm just going to show this image. Apparently, this came out in 2024. It's a Metroidvania set in the Yar's universe. Peak woke, everyone. Am I right, kids?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a shooter game?
No, this is a Metroidvania. The original Yar's Revenge was an 80s, like, what was it, like 8-bit shooter, you know? Stop sharing screen. I just felt like I needed to share that. That was fun. Last Cow Caves Gaming. That's very true. That's very true. Although, yeah, we're gonna do the what is it? Chud's review video games and talk about politics eventually. Is that what we're gonna do? That's what
we're gonna do.
Who bought this for you, or you bought it yourself?
It was Randall Shakur.
Oh yeah,
not Randall Shirker. I think it was Randall Shirker. No, yeah, it was Randall Shirker. Yeah.
Everyone wanted you to review Deus Ex.
Chex Quest, Cereal Box.
Chex Quest.
That was like, what were they thinking?
Well, wasn't Chex Quest just like a Doom clone?
Yeah.
I'm not.
That was one of the best. One of the.
Oh yeah, it was a Doom clone. Ostensibly a non-violent first-person shooter game.
Yeah. One of the best lines was from AVGN was I forget what game it was. It may have been Castlevania, or it may have been another game that was like a strategy game for kids. It's like, what 8-year-old kid in 1986 is gonna find these fucking clues? What were they thinking? It's like, I guess like video game companies, they did kind of expect more of people back in the day. Although that may have been just like a cover for like shitty game design. Oh my god.
No, it was different back then.
Well, yeah, that was like the first flight simulator. You could like never what was it called? The first
Flight sims. I mean, you had a lot of stuff in
like
the
the first
80s.
fighting Ace. It was Ace Combat.
No. Like an actual flight sim.
It was like the fighting jet fighter game. Like you could never land on the ship. You could never land on the aircraft carrier.
There was an F-14 sim at one point in time.
What was it? Top Gun.
It could have been the Top Gun game.
Been the Top Gun game, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm just trying to think of like what are the oldest ones that I mean these are all things straight out of the 80s. You had some Midnight Landing, Air Inferno, but that was more of a what's the word I'm looking of? It's more helicopters and things like that. Man, I'm trying to think what else could there be. I know like
I think it was the Top Gun game.
Yeah, it has to be the one that I think is the most infamous.
Yeah,
that people can think of. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I have a love-hate relationship with flight sim games because it's a lot of fun to get into because I love flying in general, but then all of a sudden you have to think about oh yeah, this is a lot of things I actually have to learn mechanically, which is, part of the fun. But nevertheless, I really like flight sim and flying in general.
Yeah.
Flight Simulator, aka White Man Simulator. This is very true. It is one of the most autistic, like niche hobbies you can get into. One part of me thinks like, oh man, this is delicious propaganda. But on the other hand, it's really kino. Like I really enjoy Growling Sidewinder on YouTube and all of his DCS game footage. I really enjoy that.
Oh man.
The original Mech Warrior, that'd be a fun one. Actually, Wing Commander would be the next one to have Geo do, just because he can get to Wing Commander 30 and wonder what the hell is Mark Hamill doing here. That would be fun.
What's Wing Commander?
It's a science fiction sort of space flight shooter game.
Oh man.
Originally started on like MS-DOS, and then it's there for the generational tech ride. And then this is also during the era where like full video, full motion video cutscenes were a thing. Where like
that was like the Sega. Was it it was like an attachment to the Dreamcast.
This was on PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you're fighting like basically cat people.
Yeah, that was like forget the first console attachment. Was it Sega Dreamcast that had they tried to do the whole like DVD insert where it was like half a movie, half a game. One of them had Malcolm McDowell in it, which was a good one. Then they had like
that was Malcolm McDowell is in Wing Commander.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Man, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Like he's in there. And it
was Sega Genesis that had this like retarded attachment.
It is funny how everyone does every generation, it seems, or it comes in cycles where it's like, what if we turned your console into an entertainment system? And then that's usually what kills whatever respective brand for like a generation. Like after the Xbox 360, you have the Xbox One, and it's just like, we're going to turn this into your all-around entertainment system, which is kind of funny because they were burned epically for this. But at the same time, this is inevitably what the PS5 has become. There are no games, and it's really just my way to play Blu-rays and to stream. Yeah. If you can't afford a Roku, or if you don't have a Roku, that's what your PS5 is for.
PS5 can stream?
Well, I mean, it's connected to the internet, so like you have apps and things like that.
Can you imagine if someone's listening to us right now on a PS5? For show yourself in the comments if you can type with the
controller. As he uses his PS5 controller to awkwardly type.
Yes, I am using.
If we have a PS5 listener then this means that we have improved the Digital Archipelago Minority Outreach Program has effectively worked.
Oh man!
So many people installed the XBMC on their original Xbox because there was no Apple TV to play torrented TV shows and movies back then.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Man, you guys, I still have the I don't know if I can say that. I still use the Views BitTorrent client to download off the internet various like games and movies and TV shows. It's been a lot of fun over the years.
There's that Russian site that's like the second most popular Russian social media site that's got like a lot of films that.
Wasn't Z Library hosted on like a Russian platform before?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have unironically used a Steam Deck to talk on the show. At least it's a Steam Deck and not
a Steam Deck
and not a Nintendo
PS5.
Switch.
Can you imagine talking? Yeah, they think this one's it's owned by VK.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if they have a lot of like choice like indie films you can't find on like even Apple TV or streaming sites.
When you can't find it on Tubi, you go to VK.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how it works around here.
Wait, what's it called? I'm gonna find it for you.
When in doubt, you just go to Russia. That's
gonna
get clipped out of context.
It's called it's got like, oh my god, it's got the Cyrillic, but let me Google it. I was watching this In Order Not to Be Here, which was like this indie film made in 2002, this like documentary of like, it was kind of like a liminal space film. OK.ru, that's the one. Okay. It's owned by VK. It's called OK. But yeah, In Order Not to Be Here is like one of these very spaced out, creepy, liminal space type of things, even before people knew the term. This was like 2002. It's only like 30 minutes. Yeah, Andana Kloskany. Yeah, thank you, RU Sky. That's it. Yeah. So there's like a lot of stuff you can't find on streaming sites. Like I was trying to look for 3 Colors Blue, and I was gonna pay for it too, because like I have a Fire Stick for my parents. They all like love watching these BritBox shows, so I pay for it, right? Like I'm the one, my Apple account, not Apple, my Amazon account. So I was gonna pay for it, but then like just you cannot find work from that direct. You cannot find 3 Colors Blue. You cannot find 3 Colors Red. It's incredible. I think maybe Apple might have the Decalogue, but I was trying to find the Decalogue. I just couldn't. I'm not gonna pay for Apple TV. Right?
Why would you? No.
Yeah. So I mean, I already paid for Prime.
Do you own the they're on the Criterion
I wanted to sign up for the Criterion Collection. I have to, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think where else you can watch them.
Yeah.
I don't know actually. I downloaded them off the internet, so I have no idea. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have 3 Colors on Amazon streaming. That wouldn't surprise me.
What's if you want to spread the wealth, Sean. No, but what's that? Don't we have to do a visual novel soon on Steam?
Yeah, Mr. Zaleski gifted us a visual novel to go play.
Yeah, I still have to add him. You know what I did recently? Now that I have Steam, I bought that package. It was only $20. You get GTA 3, GTA Vice City, and San Andreas. It's like, but then I started playing it, and I'm like, why am I doing this? When I was like 13 years old, I did this. Just like going around shooting people.
And now you're 33 years old and still doing this.
Going around shooting people. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. But anyways, this is Digital Archipelago episode
162. Unless I've totally butchered the numbering. No, it's 162.
Yeah.
We got Geo to play Deus Ex before we got GTA 6. Well, it comes out this November.
It does?
Yeah, Geo is only 33.
Yeah.
And I am 30. And we were born on the same day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which makes us like absolutely cursed podcast duos. I thought he was in his 40s.
I look that bad?
That's cruel.
Oh my God. Well,
so anyways, I tweeted it out earlier this week that I'm the proud owner of a Gio Panichetti original,
Yeah.
which I'm very happy with. And I was gonna throw out everything else into the trash, and then I get home and it's like, hey, I'm glad that you didn't take out that thing, because apparently in the cardboard slip with everything else there were some other sketchings, like your little atheist sketch that you have.
Oh yeah, I should have. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot. Yeah, you should have.
So, anyways, they got
I should get a
saved.
note,
They're
look in
sitting.
the
They're sitting on
package.
our like one of the tables in the living room. But I was like, oh damn.
Yeah. Thank God you didn't throw it out. Yeah.
No, so I have these two other little things I'm gonna need to find frames for.
Yeah. The Shrek fedora and I
The
forget what
Shrek
else.
fedora, and then the Titan Christ.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Titian one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. That's good. Yeah. I should tell people and write a note. Like if
If
you buy a painting,
I would recommend doing that.
Yeah, like if you buy a painting, there's a high likelihood that there will be like a prize in there. It'll be like a checks box, like a what cereal brand? I mean, a lot of them had prizes, but I'm trying to think. The Tricks had prizes. Anyways, you get the point. It'll be like a Cracker Jack prize.
You used to get the internet as a cereal prize.
That's right. Yeah, America Online.
You used to get 500 minutes of America Online on a CD.
My mom still has an AOL account.
Good.
I don't know why.
If it still works, don't break it.
Yeah.
You know?
She used to go in these like chat rooms and everything. Like she used to talk to people in Italy and Brazil. They don't have that anymore, man. Like they like got rid of the chat room experience. They don't have that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bygone era.
Yeah, we've moved past it. Now we have group
AOL
chat.
Online is gone.
Yeah.
No AOL Instant Messenger. The
They
guy who
banned-
said you've got mail is dead.
He is?
Yeah. He died a couple
Oh.
years ago.
Man.
I'm almost 100% positive. You've got mail voice. Elwood Edwards. Yeah, he died in 2024.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chat roulette killed off the chat room. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then it just became streamer bait.
Yeah.
Because chat roulette then also turned into chatterbait. And then it was really just, everything was just beat to death, literally and figuratively.
And you could just go like that's you know this one guy I got tuned on to recently, Faceless.
No, who's this? Or what is this?
He's got like the neon green like balaclava mask.
Okay.
And he had this viral like short talking about boomers, but he has this series on YouTube. I think it's called what's the YouTube channel? It's not it's Faceless on Twitter and Instagram. Plunder Stream on YouTube, and he's got this 3 videos where he's like highlighting Instagram schizos. He calls it schizogram. And he's like, you just go in the comments and start messing with them, saying like, I went to the dark web and they got your, we can see a live stream of your house because this one woman thinks her neighbors are putting cameras in the nails on her drywall, her screws. And so he's like, you could just
there are
go to
websites
the comments.
like that where you can just watch unsecured security camera footage.
Oh, I used to do that. Yeah, there was like
there's like still a few websites out there where it's like you can just cover whatever.
I remember I was watching one time, there was like a bar in like South Korea or something, or it was Spain. It was very aesthetic. I remember like that, but you get like long shots of like these landscapes around the world. And I wonder, I think they still
that
have
would be a good Twitter account where, like you have the Mytho Americas of.
No, they got unregistered. Yeah, they got unsecure.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like you just called it Mytho CCTV, and it was just like aesthetically pleasing or crazy screenshots.
Yeah.
And just go for that. Yeah, involuntary CCTV IRL stream.
They all and then they always have that one. It's called. It's in Nipping, Minnesota, the Earth Research Garden or something like that. It's like a garden on top of a tower for a research lab. They always have that. It's in Nipping, I think it's called. Nibbing or Nipping,
What
Minnesota.
what did you call it?
It's like Research Garden, Earth Lab,
Research Garden
or Hibbing. Sorry, Hibbing,
Hibbing. Okay.
Minnesota. Yeah.
Hibbing MN Research Lab.
Trail cams but for people. Well, we kind of live in a world of
I
that.
love the trail cams account.
Yeah. And he's like a hyper racist too. He's got
the drill core library. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trail cam account. No, it's kind of like we live in that world.
People try and cancel trail cams like a year or two ago?
Yeah, because he was following like far right racists. That's like our good friend every Soprano shot in order.
Except that guy just like came out and said, I like what he'll do sometimes because he'll like occasionally edit whatever Soprano episode it is, and it's like that is not what Tony says in this frame. But it's a good time. It's a good time.
No, he's great. He's a good, he loves me, man. He follows all my work. But no, he you think that's a good transition to
I mean it's a start, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bob Dylan's from Hibbing. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. There are days where I love Bob Dylan, and then there are days where I'm like, I understand.
My girlfriend's like a super Dylan fan. She loves Bob Dylan.
I don't want to say love hate. When I'm in a mood, when I'm like on a long car ride.
You can only give them in like small doses. Like when she's listening, when I'm there and she's listening to it. But like the earlier Bob Dylan, when he didn't have that like distinct kind of annoying type of singing style. Like his earlier his earlier stuff when he was and he had different band members that he was playing with too. I'm not a Bob Dylan expert like my girlfriend is, but like that's like in small doses I can get into.
Arlo Guthrie and like Peter Seeger are probably my three go-to. I'm driving through the middle of nowhere on a long car ride, and I want a little taste of the older part of the country. Putting this in my watch later playlist. I'll check it out in 16 months. You may be the only person there, Gerf, that actually uses the watch later function for appropriately. I have not really used it, except
I use my watch history because I always say to myself, I'm going to eventually get back to it. I'm going to scroll down. But
I think the only thing that I use is the Twitter bookmarks function. Because if someone posts a banger or a good article or a thread, I'm like, I'm saving this because I will inevitably cite this.
That's the only reason I'm paying for Twitter, the bookmarks, because I'm not getting any money. Like it's
same.
But on YouTube, like I'll use the watch later. I'll go back to it, and then I'll say to myself, like I'll clear out videos. Then I'll say to myself, I'm gonna get back to it, but then it just keeps. It's kind of like Paul Klee's Angel, as told by Walter Benjamin. The horror of history just keeps piling up, and you're powerless. You just look back in horror. It's sort of like me with the YouTube watch history. I say I'm gonna get back to it, but then it just keeps piling and piling, become distance and distance and distance, and I never get back to it. So I know, man, it's terrible.
It is pretty rough.
I do that too. I leave a lot of tabs open. I try not to, but on my phone I have a lot of tabs. But then one time I'll have like a weird anxiety, and I'll just like try to read everything, and I'll like get it down to like 200 and 150, but I can never just clear it. I never just can have like, you know what I mean? Like it's just the tabs are insane. They're never gone.
My phone will, it's like, you have not visited this tab in X number of days, and then it gets like hidden from me, and it's like, see your inactive tabs. And there was one time where it was like at like 45 on my phone, inactive tabs on my browser, and I was like, oh no, we have a serious
you gotta
problem.
prune them, man, because I always figure like I'll keep a tab because like, oh, I'm gonna interview that person, so I'll read their work, or I'm gonna do this, and then I'll do something on it. But then it's like you go back to it a few months or a year later,
and then you're just like, oh yeah, the rabbit hole high is gone. Like I need to move on and do something else.
Yeah.
My inactive tabs are pretty rough. But it's last year, or last week, I should say, last week, Geo confirmed for having ADHD. I just think that being online encourages you to just go at a million miles an hour and not stop. Because
Yeah,
I don't think Geo probably has ADHD at all, but it's just like
it's there.
it's very easy, I think, for you one person to just like get lost in the sauce, so to speak. Because it's like, oh, like it's getting on a kick, right? You know, it's just like
Yeah.
I am here to go research something, and now I want to know about this. It's like the Wikipedia thing. It's like I didn't need to remember Yar's Revenge, and nor did I need to remember that very true encoded looking video game artwork. But like, nevertheless, here we are.
Oh my god.
And this is why over-the-counter Ritalin needs to happen. No, because if it's over-the-counter Ritalin, if you actually have ADHD, it'll do its job. And if not, you're just in taking legal speed. Which on one hand, if you're like, I guess, an accelerationist, then yeah, legal speed sounds like the right way to go. But I don't know. It is a great way to get work done if you're not. Anyways, enough about college memories.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Well,
over-the-counter Ritalin inhalers.
They have those.
We're just gonna legalize galaxy gas, is what I'm hearing from you people.
That's something that's like an artifact from the future type of. You know what I mean? That
does sound like something that would be in Deus Ex, actually.
Yeah, that could. Yeah.
Over-the-counter Ritalin inhalers that you can buy at a vending machine.
Oh man.
No, but what I was gonna say was that it was interesting that last week we were in a position where it was just like, oh, we're gonna have some fun. Yeah, because we've had quite a few, I think, fun episodes. What did we do? Did we do Shadow of the Torturer last week? Was that what we did?
Yes, we did Shadow of the Torturer,
which was a great time. I enjoyed it. I started reading The Claw of the Conciliator because we got paid to review it.
Yeah, I have to get that.
Yeah. Well, did you not buy the first half of the?
No, I got a rip of it.
I bought a hard copy that came with the Shadow of the Torturer and the Claw of the Conciliator in it. So I have to physically read it, and then I'm going to listen to the audiobook because, as I mentioned last week, it was like, oh, there were things that I picked up in the audiobook I didn't read them or pick up on my first read through. So I guess it's always different when someone like tells you what's going on versus you reading it yourself. But a lot has happened since last week that I feel like we kind of need to address now that we're 30 minutes in, and I feel safe enough that we can bring this up.
Well, what else happened besides the one that recently happened? I mean,
what's sad is that it wasn't recent. It happened 6 months ago. Is when
but the
footage just dropped this week.
Yeah,
and last I saw, there were riots.
Today
that were happening right before we went live.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely depressing. Yeah, it's in Southampton where all the rioting was taking place.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, well, you go over it, Prude, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I just want to bring it. I haven't really said anything on the timeline, just because on one hand, as an American, I don't want this to turn into a UK versus US sort of like shitting or pissing contest over how bad each of our respective nations have it. But also like it is.
Well, there's similar incidents in both America and Canada. There was a guy in Vancouver.
Years ago. Yeah. And so I mean, here in America, like we of course have our own racial issues that are also complicated by immigration. But it's just like this is. We're just mad and seething about it. Yeah, like we are. And I can't voice what I want to say.
Lake and Riley, for example.
Lake and Riley and countless others. Like there's a litany of names that you can think of that have all been victims of mass immigration in the third world coming to the West. And so it's like, I don't know what else to say other than just like, this can't go on forever. And I'm tired of it. And I'm angry and I can't express what I want to say. Because you see the footage and you see everything that played out. And it's just like, that really could be your brother. That could be anyone you know. The same thing with the Kirk assassination, because like Kirk's our age or was our age. Mm-hmm. And I don't have any words to say because I'm angry. And of course I'm going to be angry. And everyone who's rioting is totally justified in their ability to be angry and to express it. And nothing is more fitting.
Well, especially if you live in that area, you're there. It's someone you know. It's someone you could be your child or your brother.
Son. At
Yeah, or
18.
yours. Yeah. So it's
That's all.
there's
Yeah, I'm with you, Randall Shirker. The death penalty exists for a reason.
but I just can't help the mindset of the police officers doing that. Like I think I
One
forget who said
resigned
it.
already, but that I don't think that makes him
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah. But I mean like it does call into question like uh, I think it may be more of an American thing about the police and whatever loyalties they may have. It's like they're not gonna like I hate to say it, but they're not your friends. You know, they're agents of the state, and if they're told to brutalize you, they're going to do it. And you know what I mean? Like I just can't see the procedure brain that takes over. You're seeing someone literally dying in your hands, and it's I don't know. It's just it's a very very sad thing. It's not, and the thing is, people use the word tragic, but tragic I remember I had a literature professor once that talked about this, about how tragedy implies a sort of unforced error.
It implies passivity and a lack of culpability.
Right. Whereas this is a conscious, deliberate, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there elements of passivity and is there elements of unforced error? Yes, but uh, it's something greater than tragedy. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm trying to express. So, but
No, I agree.
yeah, yeah. And all the and you know all the usual talking heads will start equivocating about, you know, what about native British gangs and blah 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 and this people stabbing each other.
Football hooligans do not compare to open ethnic warfare against the population of England.
But also like just you know what's kind of surreal to me is that as a Canadian, we've had this debate for many, many years. I believe, like, I remember being in school, like, I mean, elementary school, not even high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was in the mid 90s. Correct. Any Leafs in the chat that are older than me, correct me if I'm wrong. But there was a debate over a kid who was a Sikh, if he had the right to carry a kirpan in school. And I think what they did was they did some kind of compromise where it had to be sewn into the loop, into the sheath, so he couldn't take it out. And it had to be a dull blade or whatever. But that was like a big thing. It was also like the Canadian Mountie that could wear the turban who was a Sikh.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like, for the UK, which has incredibly stringent laws against carrying knives.
Well, it's the same thing with like gun control here in America. It's like the only people that these laws are meant to enforce on is the native population of the respective country.
Yeah. Like
because the point is to disarm, which is why gun control and climate change are the safest issues white Democrats can run on, because you're literally disempowering and disarming yourself and, you know, making yourself a literal defenseless target to the rest of your non-white coalition.
Do you think the Democrats would ever abandon the gun control thing, like by running these like hicklibs like Graham Planter?
No, because every hicklib that's ever ran for office is,
I shoot guns, but on a range where it's safe.
Well, yeah. And also fucking I remember one Democratic candidate, I think he like took us like I think he took like a buzz saw to like his AR, which inevitably actually led to an illegal modification of a firearm. But like, he this is what they do. Like, hicklibs exist to be like, see, you know, it's
they're like FUD boomers when it comes to guns.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you know, it's like my fellow whites, but it's just like some hicklib that has a questionable ethical past. Like, Plattner has been a really interesting to witness, because like he's been, you know, sexting other women while on the campaign trail.
He had a top and cough.
He was a chud, and it's just like, now you got to do whatever you got to do to get elected. You know, it's like, you probably gave money to Come Town 10 years ago, and it's
that is
like,
very interesting though that they're willing to forgive the top and cough now.
Only because it's an election.
No, I know.
Because he's in office against Susan Collins.
But some people were saying it might be a persistent trend of like the ex-chud Like they're not going to be like as stringent as they were.
Oh
in the
yeah, I
2010s.
think that this is probably the kind of former, like I've seen the light kind of former quote unquote
Yeah, like I
extremists
don't
that.
particularly care if someone was radical. Like I think the gotcha politics that like mainstream Democrats are using against him is hypocritical bullshit. But like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I think even like also like the Fox News take of like, see, this guy used to be an Austrian Painter fan. Oh my god, the
Oh, I know.
Democrats
It's just
are the
led to
real.
the
Yeah,
Democrats are the real, Third
yeah.
Reich appreciators.
I don't know
Just-
anything about this Graham apart from like he used to be a chud with a top and cough, and then
well,
like
because
he became a
he's
Democrat.
former military.
Yeah,
He
he
had
was former
served
military.
overseas,
Yeah.
and he's running for Senate. And
There used to be a bunch of those guys. I remember like they went to Iraq and then they saw what they were doing and then they like went on Democracy Now and like Occupy Wall Street and they were really big into like Snowden and what was and Julian Assange. Like there
yeah.
was a moment of like the ex-Chud military veteran that became like anti-globalization left. But that's like a
Well, they
very like
probably were
older
always left
millennial.
wing, and then became disillusioned when the
Yeah.
premise of the war was disillusioned while they were over there.
But
Like
then
there
they
were,
had to like gladio op them because they used to be like more third worldist. Like they also used to kind of be like tankies, kind of like Caleb Maupin types. But then they
yeah.
had to be like, no, that's wrong. Like you should actually hate Russia and you should
Was
actually
it
hate
Stanley
Assad.
McChrystal that was on Democracy Now a lot?
I
I'm
think
trying to
so.
remember. There
Yeah.
was a big general who was involved back then that was
Then
talking
those
about Bush and
then some
Obama
of
a
those
lot.
yeah, then there's some of those guys they would like do their tour of duty in Iraq, then they became libs and then they like went to the YPG in Syria and for the Kurds or whatever. They were really big into the Kurdistan thing. Um I don't know, man, like that Brace Belden guy. Like
Mm.
TrueAnon, like but I guess they're bringing that back. They're bringing like the millennial like white or white presenting ex-military who was like kind of the chud, but he believes in healthcare or whatever. Like that's I think they're gonna run that. They're gonna do the whole they're gonna bring like the pre-2010s anti-globalization left
Well, that
back.
and they're gonna do it with a bunch of like, but they'll have a seat at the table. I don't think that they're gonna be
Yeah.
a major, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not going to be a major player in the sense of like who's going to actually control the state. Because
Right.
I mean, I know that Spanberger has faced her challenge now with like having the whole redistricting woke authoritarianism kind of slammed down her face, but like a good chunk of like ex CIA and ex Trump impeachment officials have been running for office since 2020 and onward. And it's like that's kind of what you want. There's a revolving door between like the Democratic, higher ups and apparatchiks and the intelligence, apparatus. And it's like that's really who's going to control things. Not to say that there isn't going to be factions or populist movements inside the left that will have like these anti-globalization trends and movements, but to a large extent, I think at least for right now, like MAGA has somewhat kept that mantle since 2016. Unfortunately, I think in this desire to reappropriate a Pan-American ideal, it's given way to the worst facets of neoconservative impulses.
Right.
Because those obviously have
yeah.
the most money and influence.
Well, and also like the Republicans themselves, they're going in this like weird multicultural direction, but it's like Hispanics instead of black people.
Yeah, it's the Hispanic white shift kind of thing.
Yeah. So, but in the UK though, I mean, obviously we would need somebody like I'm sure it's probably too late. I know we have fans in the UK. But it just to me it seems from what people tell me who live there, it seems that the political situation's up in the air because Keir Starmer's government has yet to fall. And it's still a question. I mean, I have my criticisms of Farage and Reform, but it does seem like because they have a number, like they have a momentum because a lot of like ex-Tories are involved. My fear is that the Conservative Party, I mean, some people in the UK would say this is crazy, and correct me if I'm wrong if you're from the UK, but I wouldn't count the official establishment Tories out. I mean, in Europe, a lot of these political systems are so tightly controlled by different means that I wouldn't. I don't even think they would want someone like Farage in there, let alone Rupert Lowe. I mean, definitely not Rupert Lowe. That would be a disaster for the ruling class there. But I mean, I think that I wouldn't want to discount the Tories, unfortunately. They are like very slippery creatures. But I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I know. Do you know anything about this? Like, why? There was always, I think, a month or two ago, there were always these predictions that Keir Starmer's government would collapse when he lost those crucial seats.
So far, that has not happened.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was listening. Morgoth put out a video for the first time in a while, and the video was called "Esoteric Starmerism," which I quite appreciated because a lot of people are trying to turn Keir Starmer into like Biden, as in like he's atrocious, he's feckless, he's impotent, and he's overseeing all these terrible things about Britain. But it's like, lest we forget that the Tories ran the country for like 15 years consecutively and were a big part of the problem with Boris Wave and deliberately dicking around with Brexit and the Home Office basically going against the will of the people. And I've said it countless times on the show before. It's just like the Americanization of conservatism in Britain or in any other part of like the European continent is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work unless you're deliberately trying to chase for money. And we kind of saw that in Hungary. We've seen this in a few other places. There is a Turning Point UK, which was founded by Candace Owens's beard of a husband, or whatever. It's just it's a mess right now.
Totally embarrassing. I'm sorry, man, but like that tour.
Like, I just don't think it works. I don't think there's been any like legitimate proof.
No, it's trying to like force a lot of American sloppulous politics into the UK and the rest of Europe. It's just it's a different context. You have to work with the soil that you're given in each situation, and so I think like the whole like the TPUSA or other organizations that are trying to do this like Republican Party Americanization of European politics is like kind of like the Conservative Party here in Canada. It's just that's not going to work. Like in some, I don't know, the Tories are pretty dead in the water, but like, in some ways, the Conservative Party here in Canada, they're in the same position. Like they only have the position of being in opposition to Carney. That's pretty much it. Everything else, they have no vision, they have no balls, they have nothing. So,
do you have a tab open, Gio, where you're watching the Stanley Cup Finals right now?
No, actually, I have it taped. I should.
No, you have it taped. I like the idea that you actually still have like you have a VHS and you're DVRing your Stanley Cup commercials and all.
Yeah, because I hate it. So, okay, it's going the way I like so far in the first period. So,
is that because you want the Carolina Hurricanes to win?
Yes. Okay, listen, I will never forgive Carolina for beating a vastly beaten up and attenuated Maple Leafs in the conference finals in 2002. I will never forgive them because not that it would make a difference, because let's be real, either the Leafs or the Canes would have been slaughtered by the Detroit Red Wings in 2002.
Yeah.
But the Hurricanes did one job that I like, which is humiliate the Habs, the Canadians. Now they have another job, which is to humiliate Mitch Marner. So the Brenda Moore plan is coming together. Hopefully, pray to God. But I don't know. I'm kind of crossed because
all this to go against what is it? The Las Vegas Knights, right?
Yeah, everyone hates Knights because it's funny because us Maple Leafs fans hates the Knights because of Marner. A lot of like the more newer like lib hockey fans, they hate the Golden Knights because of their goalie, what's his name, Carter Hart. He was involved in some sex scandal. Then he got exonerated though. And then like just traditional hockey fans hate it because it's kind of like it's this outlaw mud show team that's sort of like a creation of Gary Bettman. It doesn't really have a huge fan base, and it's like a team winning the cup after 5 years is unheard of. The only time that's ever happened was I think Colorado, but like Colorado was the Nordiques though before they were the Avalanche. So but anyways, I was getting distracted.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
I
I
figured.
can't believe like Big Ben's going like he's really he's beating up on hockey. He's beating up on poor Morgoth. I can't believe this.
Let him be.
I know. But no, I just yeah, the situation in the UK, it's just it's I think the uncertainty of the political situation and the inability to act is sort of really grates some people, so but if you had anything more to say, Prude.
No, again, there's going to be. I'm afraid what'll probably happen out of everything that we're going to witness. It'll be much more like the Southport riots that we saw. What was it now? A year and a half ago.
The three little girls.
Yeah, with the three young girls.
Yeah.
Although, and I mean, there was footage of that too that came out, and so I think the people are rightfully rioting. It's just I think that also it's the summer like this. If you're going to have time to pop off, then this would be the time because that's when rioting tends to happen the most.
Yeah. I mean, the Marbley's got a good point though. There is immense amounts of promise though, because things are so bad that it's sort of like it's so bad before the silver lining type of deal.
Yeah.
That is a good point, Marbley. Hopefully, I mean, we pray for our brothers and sisters in the UK.
I agree. Also, there's been some election stuff going on here in the U.S. You remember New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, who was arrested and charged with, I think it was like fraud and bribery. I think he took like gold. I think it's from Egypt. His son is most likely going to be the next congressman for House District 8 in New Jersey. So if you live in New Jersey in that area, I'm so sorry. They say the dynasties just never last.
Yeah.
They really do. Absolutely sad. So true. But yeah, I really have no other words to say other than let things go the way that they do. Because I can't speak my honest opinion.
Yeah. So
which is tends to be the case every time. Although I do like other news that I follow. So apparently, I've witnessed.
You're looking. Is that true, Big Ben? Is that true? He's just fucking with me. I know he's fucking with me, but like I think there could be some truth to that. I don't know.
Well, thank God you're Canadian.
Anyways,
that's all I'm gonna say. No, so there's been a fight in the DFW area lately over a new LDS temple that they want to build in Fairview, and the mayor and the city council is like vehemently against it, and like they've been in some kind of fight now over the law and everything. And basically, the mayor has just come out and said like the Mormons are using the law to bully the town. And I'm like, let this battle go. I'm going to actually pay a closer attention to it in the same way that apparently the guy that's been following the bricks and minifigs thing is just basically like, it's a Mormon mafia. They're after me. They got me arrested. This man stole $200,000 allegedly. It's been a wild time.
I think the Mormons are going to win this one.
I think that they do because they've got money and they have
a vast amount of legal expertise as well.
They've got great connections.
Yeah,
they're a great mafia. Yeah. They're a great mafia.
Oh man. That's what I mean. I think especially around a temple, they're probably going to win. But I don't know. I'm agnostic on the Mormons. I mean, I have friends who are Mormons online. I guess we both do.
We both do, yeah.
Yeah, so it's,
so it's 2025. It is not yet 2052, in which Deus Ex takes place. Don't you like our cyberpunk dystopia?
It's a much more interesting cyberpunk dystopia than what we live in now.
Are you sure?
Maybe. I mean,
What was it like playing a video game for the first time, like 15 years?
It was incredibly frustrating because I remember when I was younger, like they did tend to turn me into a freak. The few video games that I attempted to beat, it was quite frustrating. Like I didn't know where I was going. It was too dark. I couldn't get the light to work. It's just yeah. I mean, I may or may not have watched a playthrough to get the story, but
How far did you get before you
like-
decided to watch a playthrough?
I think like this second level. I know that. Oh man.
Oh my.
Gio needs to
Okay.
learn to read a manual. No, I mean I try, like I was viciously Googling and like AI, like I was like, you know, Google Geminiing, like, okay, what do I do now?
I feel like you would have had a lot of fun when this game come out, you know, when just calling like the helpline. Hey, I'm stuck here. What do I do?
It's like, imagine if you were in the 80s and you had to like buy the latest Nintendo Power Book to like get all the game maps and everything. But you know what's funny, because I've seen Deus Ex memes for a long time and I didn't get them. Like the soy packet thing, the washroom. I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. I'm
So
assuming
did you only
JC
finish Liberty Island?
Yes.
You didn't even get to Battery Park?
I'll
take that as a no.
I think maybe.
Did you get to Hell's Kitchen?
No.
Okay. I have a pretty good idea of where you stop.
I basically
you didn't even meet the mole people.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Look at me. I'm getting roasted in the chat right now. I'm just
You watched
bodied.
a playthrough.
I watched a playthrough. I was, you know, yeah. I had because like, but it was a good playthrough because like he was highlighting all the text and everything. It was good. It was a lot of literary references because apparently our good friend and Julia said that the guy who wrote Deus Ex, the game, like the gameplay, was a writer, but then he got hired for a game studio, and his father was also a very important literary figure, and so that's how he snuck in like a lot of references. Like I believe the one Chesterton book, the Man of Thursday, The Man Who Was Thursday. Like it was also a very important influence because you have the same story of like Byzantine elite politics as a literary metaphor. So yeah, it was great. Like it truly was incredible. It was unlike anything I've experienced in both film and literature. So yeah.
This is the one good thing that comes out of Ion Storm.
Sorry, Deus Ex, not Deus Ex. Sorry, I keep getting
Deus Ex.
Yeah, Deus Ex. Geo playing System Shock. Hey, Gemini, how do I beat the cooler version of you? Man, I couldn't even find the inventory. I had to like Google it.
At least you tried. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
At least you tried.
People were like, you should stream yourself playing video games. Like, you crazy?
I would love to see that. I would pay good money to. I'd pay $100 just to watch Geo attempt to stream a video game.
That was like that one. I forget who replied to me in the chat. The guards always find me. It's too dark. I can't get. And it's like, oh, that's just like real life. You have to have minus.
Sorry, Obeso, you have to have greater than 110 IQ to probably interface with Deus Ex.
Oh my god. It was
Deus
too dark.
Ex is how Howling Mutant discovered G.K. Chesterton, apparently. That wouldn't surprise me.
That's true.
J-Unk X struggle stream. I like that already.
How did people play this in 2000? How do they...
Because like, back then, you just
I guess people have more of an ability, you know? Well, what were you going to say?
Yeah. Deus Ex is how I discovered my favorite Chesterton book, The Man Whose Penis Inspection Day. Yeah, that's a Howling Mutant tweet if I've ever seen it. For starters, they had manuals, but also if you were late 90s, early 2000s, if you had a PC, you probably knew what you were doing. And also, a lot of games were intuitive based off of what you did with your day job at your computer. Like a lot of resource management games or a lot of just project management for whatever your work job was.
Right. But also, I think your attention span wasn't fried by the internet, and also like your ability to problem solve and concentrate was way better.
I bet it was mind blowing in 2000. It has to be in the same way that like it probably was mind blowing to just like to step out of the escape pod in Halo in 2001 for the first time.
But you know what's crazy is that I felt that the world was very expansive yet closed in. Like, of course, like for video game purposes, they had to design like the city centers as, smaller and they actually are more intimate. But I was actually quite surprised at the expansive world and the different areas and how they managed to fit so much in to a game that was like, from 2000, right? So
everything but the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
But that's due to a memory thing. It's not because of they predicted, the 9/11.
Right. But the story is incredibly innovative, and I think we'll probably touch more on the story. But when did you play Deus Ex? What's your experience?
Heck, I think the last time I really booted up and played through Deus Ex was, I want to say 2021 was the last time I've played it. I have not. I want to play it again now that you're doing it, but I remember playing it. I think it was, I don't know if it was the first time because I had heard of Deus Ex prior to that, but I took some serious time during like COVID and when I was still on dialysis to like go play through it. And I, was like, wow, this is incredibly good writing. And there's a story, and I don't remember where I heard it. It's on some video game review of the game where like Warren Spector and others that were associated with it, they had heard people arguing over the writing of the game, saying whether it was left wing or right wing or not. And he was just kind of surprised at how people were interpreting it. Because like, it's funny because you can go look up clips on YouTube right now and it's just like, Deus Ex dropping red pills for like 8 minutes and 42 seconds or something like that. And it's incredibly interesting to see what other people would describe it as like boomer conspiracy theories of like the 1990s, like the UN taking over and black helicopters coming in over the border, which would inevitably become a song in one of the later seasons of the X-Files. But I don't know, it was really interesting because it's like we have a pandemic going on that is also man-made, that the government may or may not have been in complete control over, and we're distributing quote-unquote a cure, and America has been falling apart due to a previous civil war. There's a lot of intense world building that leaves enough for you to get a pretty rough idea of what's taken place over the last 52 years from when this game came out, from 2000 to 2052. But then at the same time, it allows you to really just, whatever your own politics are, you can read into it however you may wish. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and FEMA's going to run everything, and they're going to have the death camps. Yeah, I remember that. That's good.
Oh my god.
Leftist Zoomers be like, "Oh yeah, Deus Ex predicted Trump."
That was one analysis I was reading from someone. It was like a Griper account. Oh, it may have been Kimono Griper or somebody. Like a lot of people, like I think someone asked him on one of these like Curious Cat anonymous question sites, and he was going through some like YouTube video essay about Deus Ex, and apparently this YouTube video essayist, they concluded that it was sort of like a DSA socialist. It's all about the taxing corporations, man. And it's like, no, it's about someone who has godlike agency going through the global elite and picking and choosing and being able to see beyond the veil and really doing a ontology of power in a very interesting way. And that I think it was Kimono Griper saying that, this is really about how a sort of tectonics of power works in a very deep level, rather than just some kind of like stupid debate over, is Deus Ex talking to you about corporate tax cuts and healthcare and like more money for the programs? Like DSX is not about more money for the programs. There is a lot of conspiracy culture. And also you have to realize like this was 2000, right? This was, you had to really work. You had to like be listening to Art Bell. You had to be like watching on tape Bill Cooper lectures. Very few people knew who Alex Jones was in 2000.
Yeah.
You had to like really work to get these ideas into a coherent vision. And so it's sort of like when people, because of the Backrooms thing, and by the way, I recorded with the Granite Mountain movie.
He picked you?
Yeah.
Bastard.
Well, you said you were doing your own thing on
I
it.
am doing my own review. I guess I did not make a good enough impression on the Heat video.
Someone, it was me and Arturo. But someone asked if we watched Possession. I want to watch Possession.
I'm probably going to get dragged to the movie theaters to watch Possession because my wife wants to see it. I dragged her to the Backrooms film. We watched it on Friday, and she had only seen like I think the one Kane Pixels, the very first one from like 4 years ago, and that's basically all she had seen. And she was like, "I'm not enjoying this. I'm uncomfortable." I was like,
yeah.
Okay, well, this is entertainment. This is
Obsession, not Possession.
Obsession, yes,
Yeah.
Obsession.
Yeah.
All I know about Obsession is that it's the consequences of wishful thinking, and that he's also a famous YouTuber, the guy from behind the scenes. Obsession is really good. I'll probably have to watch it. Is it one of those things where chuds are gonna go like Obsession is right about women? That would be funny.
No, I mean it's different. It's almost like the Anti-Gone Girl. Like it is kind of like a go to therapy film, like the Backrooms was, but
the Backrooms is probably the best Silent Hill adaptation we'll ever get.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can really say outside of what I'll probably record for my review, which I'll probably record my take rather than write it, and I'll just also put it on Substack because I'm also I'm gonna be unavailable to record Thursday and Friday, so I'm gonna be busy.
Yeah.
Sam Neill is in Possession. I'll definitely have to watch it.
There you go.
Chico's Menabaddy Obsession.
Oh my god, Sean Weiland took a girl to see Waking Life in the theaters. That's great.
My.
Had such a limited run too.
Although it killed me because like when I was in the theaters on Friday, like we're all sitting there and we're in the back. And then like this clip plays, and it's this Australian, I guess, it's based in Australia, the film is. And it's like two teenage young men talking to each other, two teenage Australians. And I literally whispered to my friend, I'm like, this better not be like a gay romance. And then it gets on screen. And I was like, well, I get what I deserve for going to a movie theater. And then it's like over the top, like the bad boy that he's into is also like a monster / possessed and is killing people. And then there's like a conversion therapy scene because his like mom and dad are in church. And there's like trying to set him up with a girl. And then to top it all off, this movie trailer that I'm shown, the title of the film is called Leviticus. And it's like, could you not be any more on the nose?
No, it's sort of like the perfect like yaoi book talk film. This is what it sounds like.
It really does. It's for it's FYP film media literacy.
Yeah.
There you go.
William. Boys are coming.
Bill Cooper is definitely the inspiration, though, a lot for this game.
White boys are coming. Oh my god. No, but I knew Brood would mention that one. No, but the thing is about Deus Ex is so it really is. You did have to work to find this type of content, the way that it was written into the story, but the way that it didn't. There was some moralization based on the options you were given, but it wasn't your typical, I would say, populist, like even a sort of like normie populist.
Oh, I forget that's where Behold a Pale Horse. That's where Lomez's old fucking profile picture came from.
Yeah, it was from the Bill Cooper. Yeah. There wasn't really There was, of course, the Butlerian Jihad, the Asian guy, what's his name? Tong?
Yes.
He wanted the sort of like Ted Kaczynski total like tech revolution, tech counter revolution of like, we're all going to go back to city states. We're all going to go back to the dark. We're all going to exist in like individualized, localized monocultures again. But in terms of even like, I'm going to take power and use it for good, they're really, I wouldn't say that I detected the similar sort of, like, if you ever watch like normie television shows that have like global conspiracies in them, but they're sort of like a weird left coded, like power to the people type of,
Sure. Yeah.
like protest politics. This is thoroughly an elitist view of politics. This is like elite school par excellence. This is a capable man who is given the means to control the world and deserves to. But what I really found as a superficial detail before we get into the story, what I really found fascinating is that unlike a lot of characters in movies or even other video games nowadays, or really any piece of media that deals with conspiracy theory, or even like cop dramas or noirs, there's always like the protagonist of a story is always like kind of like a Tony Soprano, like he's an unrepentant asshole when he doesn't need to be, or he's just like a goober that just stumbles his way into history. That's a very popular like Hollywood trope. What I noticed about JC Denton, and of course I'm assuming JC is a metaphor for Christ. What I noticed is that he has a level of magnanimity where the dialogue is good in the sense that he talks to people on an empathetic but also a detached level. He doesn't have to be an asshole. He identifies with people. He hears them out, depending on the voice choices that you're making. And it's like he is a capable man. And he's young, of course. He's not like his brother. But the way I noticed that JC Denton talks to people in the video game universe is quite a refreshing pace, quite a refreshing cadence of like respect, but detachment, but not going too far. That's so different than we have like dialogues nowadays where everything has to be like either over the top or he's an asshole or he's a goober that just stumbles into things. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It's a very, very different world in 2000 than we have in terms of like dialogue, even in video games or in movies nowadays. Like where it's like either you're overtly emotive or you're sort of like falling all over the place with emotion, or you're an asshole when you don't need to be. Like, I hate that, whereas JC Denton is like, he's very calm, he's very collected, he's very respectful, but he knows what needs to be done and he does it. And that's totally different than the media that you're used to nowadays. Yeah. Maybe that's just me.
Well, no, I mean, the writing is leagues above almost anything I've played in the last 10, 15. I can't think of anything actually in the last 10 years that probably has this good of a writing quality. So I really can't see anything at all about a comparison, at least. But also, like it was mentioned earlier, like you kind of have to really understand, Bill Cooper and a lot of the conspiracy theories of the time for it to really be appreciated. And I mean, like, it is from a different age and it's from a different time, which I greatly appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, looking back on it now, like I played it in 2021, so like the Gray Death definitely feels a little different in comparison to probably when it came out, unless you were big on the idea that like what Bill Cooper proposes, that like the Gray Death is meant to cull like the lesser population, and that way you're just stuck with the elites instead.
Yeah. That was also popular with Black conspiracy theorists that were getting into like New Age spirituality and like Hermeticism.
A lot of Black Hebrew Israelites you'll ever see on the street, if you're in like a big city, they'll just flat out tell you that like the white man created AIDS to keep a brother down.
Yeah.
They will. Like, just there's no. This is straightforward. Like, that's what they believe. They'll just tell you that up front.
Yeah, or they'll say like soul food is killing them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like then you see the videos of like the pineapple slices and Hennessy and fruit punch and Jolly Ranchers.
He did call it though about eventually Bin Laden would be blamed for a major attack on a U.S. city. back in June of 2001. No, so which is even more funny considering that because of memory limitations, the Twin Towers are not visible in the New York City skyline in the opening levels of New York City, which makes that all the more entertaining. But I don't know. I mean, for me, like this game is a league above in the same way that the writing in, or at least the gameplay and writing in like System Shock is still a league above the rest for a lot of things, or the writing in the terminals and the marathon games is just so good because you want to eat it all up because there's not the sort of tangential random dialogue that you'll get from a lot of NPCs that are developed. And I think that Bethesda has a lot of blame in regards to this with like Oblivion and Skyrim especially. It's crazy to think that like Skyrim is 15 years old at this point, but at the same time, wow, 15 years since you've gotten an Elder Scrolls game that wasn't a remaster. It's only going to get worse, kids. But like for me, I think it also has to just do with the limited technology of the medium at the time. Because like Deus Ex is really unlike anything else. I mean, like there are kind of these immersive games that are also coming out around the same time. Thief immediately comes to mind about its mechanics. But these are just sort of a league above or a step above, the previous iterations of these titles. And so not only do I get to have a really in-depth world, I can almost interact with everything. You can walk into the ladies' bathroom and get in trouble in the tutorial training area, which makes it all the more entertaining. And you can also pick up on quite a bit of what's going on if you're just willing to explore and not immediately go from point A to point B. And the fact that you're given such options to explore, interact, and see the world is something that they're going to build off of and built off of other games. I mean, even 2 years prior, 1998, Half-Life was going to do you had the same thing in Half-Life, right? Like you could explore Black Mesa before the experiment goes wrong and kind of get a taste of what the world looks like in this immersive place. In the same way that you have the super long tram ride that the beginning of that game is famous for, because it allows you to take in the atmosphere. And this game really just lets you soak it all in. But at the same time, if you're a nerdy guy or just someone who's well versed in conspiracy and esotericism, then hell, you have the Trilateral Commission, Majestic 12, the Illuminati is involved. You have the Chinese triads. So all these things that intercede or intersect inside of the mind of maybe
the Illuminati is like the trad option in this game.
And then of course you can ascend and become like the real transhumanist solution by becoming a part of the global surveillance system.
Helios.
And also you have self-aware AI because of pattern recognition overloading it, because it's meant to fight terrorist organizations. And then it's just like this definition has been corrupted and Daedalus starts basically becoming self-aware.
Who's the ugly guy, the main antagonist that's trying to merge with Helios? Bob
Page.
Bob Page is like the lesser elite. He's like the functionary that has no vision. Whereas I think among all these elite
I think Bob's got a vision. It's just not a very good one.
Exactly. Whereas JC Denton has the agency and has the ability to sort of like weave through all of these secret societies and these global conspiracies. And also, what's very interesting is there's like a really strange also awareness of geopolitics as well between the French and the Chinese and the Americans, and it's a very like what I mean by it doesn't land on a very neat political category. It's not exactly a populist game in the sort of like, I'm going to give power back to the people, man, because he needs to use elite means to do so. He needs to be a creature of the global conspiracy to operate within it. But also in 2000, I think the problem is we're ascribing an awareness of hyper-political reification that we all experience in daily life and on the internet especially, and we like to fit things into neat political categories, whereas back in 2000 there was like, of course, don't get me wrong, like even in the 80s and 90s there was a distinct culture war between the left and the right. I wouldn't want to deny that, but in terms of like innovative fringe-o politics, political thinking, it comes off as different because you have like huge swaths of like cross-cutting political issues where Deus Ex can talk about taxing the rich and creating creating diseases to get to clear out the human trash and whatever. But then also it has this elite theory politics that comes off as instinctual and reactionary. And then it talks about AI. And so I don't think you can easily fit a coherent political narrative from the lens of the 2020s to the what we live from the 2010s to the 2020s now. You can't really place Deus Ex in a very neat political box, which I think is very good. And a lot of like these YouTube video essayists that are trying to do that, it's sort of like you again, like many things that are very creative and innovative and artistic, you have to slough off certain parts of it to create a narrative. Another thing too is what I found fascinating was the Illuminati element and the references to mythology, because of course Helios, being the god of the sun, the titan of the sun, can overlook from the highest position all the endeavors of the other gods and titans, and they can see like he can see like all of the happenings. And to claim that the global AI program is like this Helios type of being that can oversee all of humanity and can reconstruct it in a different way. Like, to me, that's very, like, I mean, nowadays it seems that the debate is almost redundant because we're having it every single day over AI. But in 2000, like that, people had a notion of artificial intelligence, but to place it as a virtual power structure rather than, oh, we're going to get robotics, the Ray Kurzweil, merge with the machine, live forever type of deal. But to virtualize it in 2000 was an innovative idea. I mean, yeah, they had the Matrix and all of that, but I imagine that the film was probably written. I mean, sorry, the video game was probably planned and written and then designed right around the same time. And the idea was in the air, but the expression of it as a means of political control rather than this sort of like vulgarized Matrix, like we're going to see through the simulation, man. Like it's not like Deus Ex is not about like, it is kind of like about seeing through the simulation, but it's more of like you have to work within it to truly achieve something, which I mean, the Matrix is kind of like that, but it's more like, it's a very, like, I don't know, it almost makes the Matrix an inferior intellectual product in comparison, in my opinion. There's more of a nuance to the political actions of J.C. Denton than even Neo, right? Neo, it's like very one-dimensional. We have to overthrow the machines. We have to liberate humanity, man. Whereas like with Deus Ex, there's a choice there. And there's an awareness of the political implications of each route that you take. Whether you embrace the AI Helios machine, whether you have like the anti-tech revolution, or whether you just like go to your typical, like at the very end, like who was it, Simmons that was part of the Illuminati, or the other guy? I forget.
I think it's Simmons.
Yeah, where it's like, well, you'll have like corporations and capitalism and like the surveillance state running everything, but it'll more or less be the same.
Who's in there? Bob Page is definitely in there. So is Manderley.
Yeah.
But yeah, also just they're all inside with FEMA, Page Industries, the Bilderbergs, UN, the WTO. It's a great time.
Deus Ex existed as a design document in 1993, but it basically took forever for the Warren Spector to actually get it off the ground. Basically started in August of 1997. So there you go. Yeah. I mean, there was also Lane around the same time. There was Lane. There really was like my recent Content Minded episode that dropped today about the new millennium. There was a lot of speculation about what was going to happen with mass digitalized society. There was a lot of hopefulness. There was a lot of like new agey type of thinking around it. If you read people like Douglas Rushkoff, for example. But then there was also this weird pessimism that was happening that was a sort of aestheticization of the alienation of digital technology with Lane, but the Matrix. But there's always that seed of hopefulness, whereas nowadays we don't have that. The hopefulness in Deus Ex is that a competent man can rise through the ranks of the global elite. and ultimately choose for the better of humanity, even though he is not man per se. He is a test tube baby, if I recall. He's like a half hybrid type of being, him and his brother.
Who, the Dentons?
Yeah, the Dentons.
No, they're
yeah.
full of augmentations. They're cyborgs, basically.
Yeah. So, in a way, it sort of obviates the political agency of common humanity, but you're sort of with it. You know what I mean? Like you need someone who is beyond the human to truly tackle the problems that humanity faces. So that's a very interesting. Then, whereas like with the Matrix, there's augmentation and there's the interface, but at the same time, it's all for this like war for the base level of humanity before the enslavement by the machines. So, yeah, that's right, Sean Weiland. It's a Gen X quality, extremely cynical, but internally hopeful. Whereas I think nowadays we just, we've had the cynicism and little else.
Yeah, and also, like, I know that all the other games build off of the characters that we meet inside of Deus Ex, and it's very interesting to see how Bob Page is translated into, like he's considered in other games to be like this deeply reactionary technocrat, whereas when we are introduced to him initially in like sort of the beginning of the game, he's citing Aquinas and cribbing from Augustine's City of God, and he's just like, we will be the leaders, we will be seen as gods, and that's really what we're going to become, because
it's an inverted perversion of the City of God by Augustine.
Yeah, definitely so. And at the same time, like, his protocol is called the Aquinas Protocol, in order to make the internet a better place, and we're going to do it. This is going to be the successor to the previous system, which was a global surveillance system. It took billions of credits and 5 years of working on it. But it's known publicly, of course, as this philanthropic effort, which, man, oh man, considering the quote unquote philanthropy of our tech overlords today, it just feels even more on the nose. Which I think has made it one of the most well-aged video games to cover contemporary issues that I've ever played. Because a lot of games will try and make their plot points, or, I mean, we see this a lot, I think, with Fallout, where everyone debates whether or not this is about capitalism or the original intent of the show, or not the show, but with the original first two games. And you've had like Kane and others that were working on the original like Van Buren projects and whatnot talk about, well, like, it's not really about capitalism. It's more of a commentary on human nature and how war never changes. And then, of course, since Bethesda's bought it out, it's been taking the dark comedy of like Fallout 2 to an absolute extreme. Whereas here it's played completely straight. And like, yeah, there's some parts in here where like the dialogue and the mechanics can make some very funny things, like, why should you get a job? Or, what a shame. Terrible way to die, like there's some bangers in here for comedy. God. But like, when you do talk to the average like American or the average person living in this world that's not with UNATCO, like if you're talking to the mole people, or if you're talking to those on the street, or
the average like Fellaheen slave,
or even those that are with the resistance and are trying to fight back against Page and the Majestic 12 and everything else, like, you're really immersed in a world where like actually the world of conspiracy is true, because like actually like the Illuminati is real, and cribbing from from what's his name, and cribbing from Bill Cooper, it's like, actually, yeah, they are the ones that assassinated the Kennedys on their orders, in order to make sure that things go the way that we want, and to control where the world is going. And all of this to play out in this question of like an absolute total surveillance state over who gets to live, who gets to die, and that a man who is at the source of making things better for the world as a quote unquote philanthropist is also the one that is the only supplier of ambrosia, the cure to this nanotechnology disease.
Bill Gates, basically.
Yeah, no, it's as on the nose as you can get about maybe like a Bill Gates type character, with the exception of Arcanum, where it's literally, I think it's like, they have obvious stand-ins for Bill Gates and Steve Jobs in that game. They're the fake names they use to escape.
Yeah, the corporations would basically decide the fate of like mass life extension or life depletion technologies. Um,
Like
but
that hot mic moment between Xi Jinping and Putin not too long ago, where they're like, "Yeah, we might be able to live to like 150.
yeah,
Life extension
uh,
technology's gotten so far."
apparently it was written primarily by Sheldon Picotti, who had the sort of like Curtis Yarvin like tech libertarian dark elf 1990s type of deal going on. Um,
Yeah, Austin Grossman, Chris Todd, and Sheldon Picotti.
yeah, but then Picotti like he didn't do it justice, so then the original creator stepped in and like rewrote it to be, you know, more nuanced than what it was originally planned. Um, so no, but another thing too is that the world of Deus Ex, as in like outside of UNATCO and outside of the global conspiracy, and how like global, like again, it's giving you a picture that global power is essentially an overlapping web or sedimentary font landscape of competing co-conspirators, and it's very open about this fact. And it doesn't have like we were saying, it doesn't have like a lot of the populist nonsense associated with like liberation politics. But what I noticed about the world, though, I think because of the Gray Death, you almost have like the world is going through this like semi-failed state existence where
Well,
there's
even before
mercenary
the
group.
Gray Death, it's in a failed
Yeah,
state existence. Like America is owned, in its sovereignty has been destroyed by a civil war that has started under nebulous circumstances. Like you have
yeah,
like, oh yeah, like back when it was still like, you know, the liberation forces or a secessionist group in the least likely of places. It's like more focused in like the northeast parts of the country and the Pacific Northwest, rather than what we often, you know, see with sort of like neo-Confederate or racist tropes that often get played out from the left.
mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, like there was a second civil war. It did not end well. And now we have UNATCO really stepping in as like the sovereign authority over the United States, because it's just like it's at the beginning of the game, like, you know, like your appointment at the head of FEMA is going to go through, and it's like, well, how did the senator take it? It's like, well, he didn't really have a choice. And it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
UNATCO is the corporation, tech corporations, like the continuity of government, which is unironically what people like Mulbug want. So
yeah, Silicon Valley is effectively, yeah,
yeah.
the way
No,
to go.
but what was interesting is that like the average population has been decimated by the plague, by civil war, where like even the borders of America are incredibly porous to like terrorist groups and other governments interfering. And it seems the whole world is going through this weird like night watchman state where the governments of the world are kind of there but not really. Corporations have to ensure the means of existence. People are like starving and in poverty, but also there's great amounts of excess and black markets. It's very much like pre-collapse kind of like a weird sort of like decaying empire type of deal, or at least that's the vibe I got. Maybe it's because in you know, say if like there was a global pandemic that was actually, well, you know, not what we experienced a few years ago, then you would have basically a series of failed states or semi-failed states that are like holding to straws, you know, trying to hold themselves together. And you have like these various liberation forces and petty mafias and so on and so forth. And so to me, it was a very interesting political exploration of the possibility of action within crisis. Yeah, in other words, cyberpunk. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, no, like this is. I was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and it was kind of,
Chirac. Yeah.
but it was like, it was strange because I was walking with some friends and some Twitter mutuals, and I was staying at a friend's place downtown. I mean, it was beautiful, but we left a restaurant and we're walking back to his place, and it's just the lights are ablaze. Everyone is like navigating, and you've got beggars on every corner. But then like you can walk past like a series of like attorneys and like tax attorneys or whatever, like people who are just, if you can afford to live downtown, I assume you've got money and a pretty decent job. And
Yeah.
so you see people who are just immaculately dressed. You have like buskers on the side. You have people begging for cash of all different races and colors and creeds. And then at the same time, like, you've got electric scooters, electric bikes, Ubers, and everything. And I don't know if Waymo is yet in Chicago, but like you've got all this stuff going on. And it's just, and also the trains, and then the bus, and then all the bridges and all this sort of stuff. And it's just like, this is the cyberpunk dystopia that I live in, where it's like, technically Chicago is a very functioning city, but at the same time, it is an absolute nightmare place to be, depending on what part of town you're in. And I just couldn't help but get a very cyberpunk feeling when I was walking through downtown Chicago to head back to my friend's apartment. And it was just absolutely bizarre just to see it. And again, I'm not from the city at all. And of course, I've lived overseas in smaller towns and things like that. So just to be inundated, I was very much the country mouse. And I was just like, this is nuts. And this is sort of the world that I'm living in. And even when I got home and a friend picked me up from the DFW airport, it was just like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know that we had Waymos in Dallas now. And I was like, oh my God, this is nuts. All these little things that sort of just creep up on you that you don't realize is the future is now, old man type deal. And this game certainly made me feel like it, where it's like, actually a lot of these questions and a lot of these sort of political intrigues 20 plus years later are still at the heart of our discussions with, the Californian ideology gets sort of discussed into almost like an apoplectic, like, this explains everything. No, but it certainly helps. And the same way that our conversations about artificial intelligence have blown up to where, with what's currently available with Claude, like you can create tools that will destroy any semblance of privacy that you thought you had left. Like it's not that hard to create a tool now. And if I'm thinking of it, I know someone has probably put it together. But like you can functionally now just basically say like, hey, Claude, can you like help program something for me to where like if I were to donate money to a political cause, like could I find out how many other people have donated to that political cause via like the emails that are on this like mailing list? And it's like, oh, how many of those people are like mutuals of mine? How many people are owners of these left-wing Twitter accounts? And then like, oh, you've got all of this stuff to sort of map out a pretty good social networking map. And if you can think of it just from this sort of conversation and create these sort of surveillance tools with enough tokens, then, someone at like NSA actually has this in real life.
Yeah.
And of course, we know all of this exists because someone named Edward Snowden had to flee to Russia with his life to basically tell us that all this shit already exists.
Yeah. Yeah. Fear and Loathing in DFW.
I have a lot of fear and loathing when I'm in DFW.
The
Dallas Fort Worth Airport is a travesty, and then all the construction doesn't help right now.
Look with the city slicker with his fancy German car. My car was made in Guatemala. The Sneed dialogue.
The Sneed posting.
But no, but you do get like
I do have a Sneed profile picture, I think. Hold on.
You do get like a tech utopian, like a tech. Oh, there you go. Yeah. You do get like a tech libertarian vibe where like you could pay for private armies. There's terrorist groups everywhere. I get that the people are only surviving off of like soy slop because like, of course.
Super processed food, and they're given drugs to just basically.
Yeah, they're given drugs. Yeah.
They're given their Formasoma. Yeah, like.
Yeah, they're giving their pineapple slices and Hennessy and Jolly Rancher.
Who's putting Kool-Aid on pineapple?
No, but you get the vibe that like mass food production has been devastated because of the global pandemic. Yeah. So people are in this.
I don't think you see real food in the game at all, actually. Well, except for the time when you're in Hong Kong.
Yeah, but the Chinese got it down lock, though. That's why. Yeah, the Chinese managed to, and then like people are fighting over ambrosia, which is actually just a drug, not like just a health drug, but I believe it has psychoactive properties as well.
No, I don't think it has psychoactive properties, but I mean it's meant to cure the Grey Death.
Yeah, and then of course corporations are making money over and diverting supplies to favored people.
It's heavily rationed out.
Yeah,
and like it's the whole first mission is like a bunch of forces have taken over and secured.
Yeah, and you meet the black
Ambrosia
conspiracy
shipment.
theorist. Yeah,
Yes. He's
he's
great. I love him.
He read Behold a Pale Horse in the California prison system.
That's right. And but he's based.
Oh my god. No, but that's what I mean. You get the picture of the world is very stark and like on the edge all the time, and people only like survive off of slop and what are they calling this Kool-Aid pineapple concoction?
It's also with applesauce.
Yeah, it's also there is that one.
Yeah, the New Sons of Freedom, the NSF, and I'm also saying the National Secessionist Forces. Where did it get started? I'm trying to remember.
One question I have though is
oh yeah, in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
Let's go. Where is on Telegram that one meme channel?
There's a lot of meme channels on Telegram that all forward the same things.
What's it called? They're calling it Digba or Dibga.
I'm good.
Dibga. I don't know what they're calling it. They're calling it Digaba or some kind of like this pineapple strips and Kool-Aid and Jolly Ranchers and Hennessy, and they got kiwis now they're putting in there. They got all sorts of stuff. They got all sorts of shapes, all sorts of color. They're putting flaming hot Cheetos on hot dogs with waffles that got fruity pebbles on the waffles and the something like that.
The polls will not close until 11 p.m. Eastern, so we will not know who wins the mayoral primary race later tonight.
You think Spencer Pratt's gonna win?
I think he's got a chance, but I'm also not holding my breath because this is Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles.
Yeah.
If you thought, that with unsecured ballot drop boxes.
Oh man.
Yeah, Dagobah. That's so true.
Dagobah, you bastard. Dagobah, you motherfucker.
Oh, I was thinking about Star Wars. I didn't even notice the slur.
Fuck. He's
Orcish alchemy is dangerous.
Holy fuck, I'm getting my ass.
If you buy a Pox PC edition of Deus Ex that actually comes with a newspaper and a bunch of lore, you can go look up the original
soy.
If you look up the manual for the game, it's got all sorts of fun stuff that's related to the lore. Because back then, with a lot of games, especially with like the Ultima series, all of the lore and the story was built into the instruction manual. Like even Halo 1, if you bought it on like the PC or even the Xbox, original Xbox, like the manual for the game came with a boatload of lore and explanation of the weapons. It was great.
Oh man. No, I feel
Yoda
like
getting absolutely ripped on Blueberry Jolly Rancher infused pineapple spears. Yes, but he liked his ketamine. And he had a desire to, run people over in his 2001 Honda Civic. I remember those memes.
Blueberry Jelly Rancher infused pineapple. They call it pineapple spears. Is that what they're calling it? I can't believe the level of racism.
I'm tempted to do the Yoda voice. I'm not doing that. That's
the level. The internet has produced I remember this one viral tweet where it was the tribes people in Africa being chased by the UFOs, but the UFOs were the smoke detectors. And the one comment it was like a black Twitter stan. It was like a super viral tweet, like 200,000 likes, that said they're inventing new forms of racism in the comments. So
true.
Oh my God. We've invented new forms of racism in America. But no, but what I don't get though, what I want to ask is that why did JC Denton turn on UNATCO so quickly? Was it just because of his brother? Like he believed his brother?
Well, his brother, but also like if you technically you can save him. I have not been successful because I know you can cheese and kill what's her name. But no, so in Juan Lebedev basically just kind of tells you everything.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to like kill him in LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And so that certainly helps in that regard. Anna Navarra will, she'll usually kill him. I mean, you have a choice. You can kill Lebedev or Anna. Like, it's way before you learn her kill phrase. But I'm usually, most of the time, I'm not successful unless I'm like save scumming to kill her. Also, I really appreciated the reference to Flatland. I really like that book. Or that really, it's a short story.
I kind of liked how he saved her, though. I liked that. Like, it was wholesome,
Flatlander. Well, I mean, he kills her.
No, Navarro?
Yeah, you kill Navarra. Flatlander woman. That's her kill phrase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, but I felt like that was the girl that, like, her father owned the hotel, right?
No. Anna Navarra's she's the Russian-Israeli, like...
Oh, in France?
No, she's with you at the beginning of the game.
She's that's right. Yeah, okay. She was Gunther's partner.
Yes.
I'm thinking of the girl that he saves from that scumbag when he was in, like, her father owned the apartment that his brother Paul was staying at. And then he found her in California. Yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Why am
No,
I
Anna
not...
Navarro, yeah, she dies, and then Gunther has the thing against JC Denton. Yeah.
Yeah, but also you can kill Gunther.
Yeah.
He also has a kill phrase.
I'm starting to see why Denton comes across as empathetic to Gia. There was also that oh my god. There was also that the French girl that he like was in, like, the mansion her mother owned.
Duclair,
yeah, Miss Duclair.
Nicolette,
yeah. I forget what happens to her, though.
Well, her parents are Illuminati, and she's
literally like a bloodline child, like a Fritz Springmeier bloodline to Illuminati. Yeah.
That's she's in Paris.
Yeah. Her name is a parody of Hilton. Oh, there you go.
Well, there you go.
Was Paris Hilton big in 2000, or was it later?
When was that photo taken of her?
Paris Hilton was more of like a mid 2000s celebrity culture, I think. It wasn't like...
I still want to buy this shirt. I still want to buy her "Stop Being Poor" shirt. I know it's a Photoshop. I just want the "Stop Being Poor" t-shirt.
Wasn't the original called like "Stop Being Boring" or what was it called?
I don't remember if it actually had anything.
Stop Being Lame.
But that was from a 2005 photo. I think she was popular much later in the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah. Silhouette's the French liberation.
Yeah, Silhouette's the French resistance group, terrorist group.
Yeah.
Because neither the French Silhouette or other groups have taken responsibility for the bombing of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh man.
But they gotta blame him.
So that's why JC Denton turns on UNATCO, because of his brother, and because
his brother and Juan kind of just lays everything out, and then he realizes, like, oh shit, everything that I've wanted to do to serve and to make the world a better place has been a lie.
Right.
Yeah. But also, this game is supposed to be remastered, which has been delayed. It was supposed to come out last February, and nothing has happened. And of course, Aspire is the one doing it, which doesn't really surprise me.
I like the boxy graphics, though.
What
is that, like 64-bit? Is that what they call it? 64-bit type of graphics?
I don't know what the total. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
What was the original console it came out as? Xbox or PS1?
Well, this came out on the computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this ever. Oh, I mean, I'm sure it did get eventually a console port, but like no, it came out on PS2. It also came out on PS2.
Oh, there you go. How many bits did PS2 have?
I have no idea. I don't even know if that's the right question to ask, Gio.
Oh, it's not like
N64.
I've been binging a lot of Angry Video Game Nerd. That's why I'm asking.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they made a movie out of Deus Ex, though?
You would never get it right.
No, they would butcher it.
Well, correction. Let me rephrase that. So you could, but no one could do it justice.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like it would be better as a mini series than it would be just a straight film adaptation.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah,
me
that's true.
give me like the Sopranos tier budget, and you can make this work.
I'm just reading the one review. Deus Ex endures partially because it taps into the Sethian fantasy of a game. You can be a cracked out hacker, T-girl, breaking through an insane system depth. People always want the idea of a heavy, serious intellectual game with themes, but nobody actually cares about the latter because nobody ever tries to systematically engage with things on a level that's actually expressed. Ideas are explored deeply enough to make appreciating a matter of appreciating the original script. And it talks about what Picardi actually wrote on Deus Ex. The original plot was about a government supercomputer trying to become a tyrannical ruler of the world. How miserable! Virtually none of the endures beyond the few character names in general. Picardi's game is far more about coherent and thoroughly about power. Technology is enabling the matter to come to a head. Some kind of potential final arrangement of human affairs is in the grasp of few ultra potent actors and forces. The UN, UNACO, the Illuminati, Majestic 12, a few individual actors with JC Denton at the head of everything. So again, breaking through the populist delusion, which is incredible. They would, I haven't. What are the later Deus Ex games about? Do they have the same, the same vibe or?
The only other Deus Ex game that I have played is Mankind Divided, and it's all right. It's not. It doesn't capture, I think, the same as the original. And of course, I know that there's I think it's I think Mankind Divided is the only one I've played. I know there's one before that, which is Human Revolution. But no, I haven't played a lot of the other games. So I don't have a lot to really comment on it. But memory, because Deus Ex Mankind Divided takes place in excuse me. It's with Adam Jensen, who is the guy from Human Revolution, but this is a prequel. It's taking place in the 2020s. So 25 or so years before the first the original Deus Ex game. Yeah. So you're still seeing all of the characters from before, which includes, Bob Page is definitely in there, and of course Alex Vega, and who else is in there that is from the first original game? The Illuminati guy is alive. I mean, he's old as shit, and this is when they finally put him into stasis, but yeah. But it's a much different world, and it's also set right after, if memory serves, the conflict inside of in the Northwest with the American Civil War.
But
no, I mean, like, the one I have played and the one that I have the most familiarity with is the original, which is Mankind, or not Mankind Divided, which is just the original Deus Ex.
Yeah.
But I mean, what holds up so well is that in the same way that I think a lot of people like to look back at early 2000s, late 90s science fiction, because there's a lot of it that ages terribly. Like, I think, like, if you read Neuromancer today, there's a lot of interesting things that are explored, but it's also where it's like when Capitalissimo was telling us about if you really hate all this, like, this chuny shit in anime, you kind of have to be aware that this is the anime that gets that stuff popularized, and so it's like you can read Neuromancer and you can read other William Gibson, so it's like, oh, this is where, like, the strong female character and gets, like, with the nerdy character main protagonist trope comes from. But also, like, that kind of hacking and that kind of world of the future doesn't really exist in our current iteration of the future, on, like, what Gibson was talking about. But then, like, with Deus Ex, it's like, actually, this is far more realistic in my eyes, of a foreseeable way of events where you have rich, ultra wealthy, oligarchic billionaires that have taken advantage of the national institutions of the world, and an America that is no longer the global superpower of its time and has been torn apart by various ethnic, political, and racial conflict. It would be very easy for the sovereignty of this once, formerly great country to be superseded by, supranational authorities and by the very rich.
And tech companies. And
and of course, like, this is going to sidestep some other popular quote unquote conspiracy theories of the day.
Right.
There is a Russian Israeli, Anna Navarra, I would definitely say, is a Jewish woman. But like, no real mention of Israel.
Oh my God, it's the NATO wave Richard Spencer narrative on Russia.
Yeah. Like like the Europeans are still a thing, and they got their own powers, and they have their own centers of like global tech and whatnot. So I don't know, like, in a way, like, this world feels more believable to me, either because I'm predisposed to an idea of decline versus, the optimistic, I don't want to say hubris, but like the optimistic futurism that I think a lot of early, cyberpunk science fiction writers may have had. Like, look at all these cool things, but there's also like the caveats about privacy and human rights and identity, which is kind of funny because, the Carlos that notices things account that I think you and I both follow, he likes to post the same thread every now and then where he's just like, Cyberpunk 2077 is like the most outsider look at America's like future, because like, you look at all the woke advertising of that, and it's like the Second Amendment's not just for the rich, and it's like an obvious mixed race family in the same way that Republicans currently message right now. And it's just like, like, this is true. Like, this is a dystopia that I can definitely see, unfortunately, America sliding into. And so the same thing though with this is like this. What makes this game age is that it's willing to entertain the kind of conspiracism that I think for a lot of times gets taken for granted on some parts of the right. But like, you have to understand that, a lot of people could come from all different types of political spectrums and kind of come to similar conclusions on these political questions, especially on conspiracy.
Yeah, no, but that's a great point though, because
like, anti-globalization just used to really be, I mean, it's always been a hard-coded reactionary thing, but like in the popular culture, it had always been seen as like a workers, like, kind of left-wing, petite socialism kind of argument. Like, this is not going to be good for the people.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like the anti-NAFTA thing here in Canada was very popular when Mulrooney was in charge. That's actually a very good
oh my gosh.
What?
Do you remember the TV show The Critic?
Yes.
With John Lovitz?
Yeah, John Lovitz.
It's coming back.
Oh my God, is he like 100 years old now?
Yeah, and some like boomer lib.
Oh my God, The Critic was actually a good show.
I unironically love it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, the Epstein class is pressuring you to play video games. Yeah, this is true.
This is true.
No, that actually didn't come up, any of the pizza related stuff in
no, there's not a single mention of anything that we would consider the conspiracy. I don't even call it slop, but like the conspiracy stuff of today is really unpresent, because like there's some third rail stuff that doesn't get mentioned at all, like race, the Middle East, and
sex trafficking
are not at all touched.
You can't fit everything into a single video game.
You're not, but also like that stuff isn't really in the zeitgeist in 2000.
Right,
I mean,
right.
For some people, it absolutely is. Let's not kid ourselves. But like in the popular culture of what's considered, conspiracy theories, like this is the world where Bill Cooper, Alex Jones, Coast to Coast, and the X-Files were all on the air.
Right. But they did have the Satanic Panic thing that was highly sexed, if you could call it that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like it wasn't like nowadays where we've seen like the full face of it. Like, I don't even think like the Dutroux case was released to the public, or even like the stuff that was happening in Britain. But Yeah, and you can't fit everything into a video game, but there's certainly like human augmentation and like human hybrids comes up a lot, obviously. Uh, but what's very interesting geopolitically though about Deus Ex is that, like you were mentioning, there was, because of the sort of wave of both globalization and technology as both this sort of optimistic and pessimistic narratives of them, there was an imagination of what would happen if, when America achieves global supremacy, like, still in, like, the wake of the 90s and the wall falling, what would happen to a world where unipolarity just falls apart and you do have like other players like the Chinese making huge bids, and in a time of crisis, and the disruption of the continuity of American global power in the wake of it being eroded from the inside because of civil war and conspiracy, but then you have a global pandemic. That is like a very innovative way of looking at things. You would have other regional power blocks trying to make bids, and the way that the destabilization of the American world order is being imagined in a video game is like incredible, because not even like a lot of the media at the time didn't that featured like either post-apocalypticism or like technological, like cyberpunk stuff. Like, I mean, Gibson did imagine that, but in terms of like, for example, in Hollywood, you don't really get that. You just have like humanity itself as a mass concept is overturned, but not like the nitty gritty of the geopolitical picture of what that would look like, which I think Deus Ex, like, he raises the discourse in the work of art to another level on it. So yeah.
Yeah, because like you can see the attitude in a lot of people back then, but also even now. Because like I think about like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and this like, well, this technology should give us the opportunity to like actually democratize the world, and by doing so, we can break and disintermediate from the existing power structures. But then at the same time, like there is the obvious pessimistic. It's like actually all the technology that we have now is not going to liberate us. It will enslave us.
Right.
And in our lifetimes, Gio, I think we've witnessed from this like techno optimist understanding of the world of like the early 2000s to the slow realization that everything about that is wishful thinking or a pitch to investors and has nothing to do with what they're actually doing.
Right, exactly.
Even now with all this Anthropic, fighting with like the US government, it's just like
the cavalier nature of it as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's political, obviously, but at the same time, it's just this, it's a fight over who is my preferred, surveillance techno system that I want to use while I'm in charge. And you guys don't trust me because you don't like the administration. So why would I do business with you? But then at the same time, it's just like, if you're a tech guy, and this is where sort of like the Yarvin types come from, it's just like, isn't it insane for business that like your entire industry lives or dies depending on every 4 years who gets into the White House? And somehow that means we're going to have continuity of stable, good governance. Are you?
That is like the Ottoman Empire. That's like fucking. That's what a sultanate would do. Like.
Well, yeah, they would.
We're living in like a neo-Ottoman.
Why are all these like weirdos out of Silicon Valley like really interested in monarchy all of a sudden?
Yeah, like Sultan Donald or like Sultan Newsom determines the fate of your tech startup.
Exactly.
Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, like all these people, I know this may sound harsh to somebody, but to viewers, but everybody involved, the Norm Macdonald quote. I also find it funny that Sam Altman is ascendancy over Elon Musk being played up by the courts is like another very interesting idea.
It's certainly something.
Yeah, like Elon Musk is just like, is like a total goober, just like stepping into this lawsuit and losing horribly because like, what was the lawsuit? It was like he said that Sam Altman and Anthropic, Sam Altman and what's the company? OpenAI.
OpenAI.
Like, they promised me they were just going to be an NGO or like a nonprofit.
Yeah.
and then they wanted to make money,
And
and I
they took
said
the
that,
money out from under him. I actually need to.
yeah. But then in the court, he's like, I was only pretending to be retarded, and then he actually did know that they're going to take it public and make money off of it. So,
I'd have to actually read up and study it before I have a
yeah,
take. I don't know the entire take on
yeah,
the case or what's going on.
yeah. Oh, and Deus Ex to Pac-Man Respector. Chinese the suspect their government's just breeding better subraces of Chinese.
So true.
Oh my god. They have always done that throughout their whole
Well,
history.
no, and this is the L here's take is very true. Like,
yeah,
I think I said this at the beginning. I was like, how much of the vibe shift is just regulatory capture?
Yeah.
I've been increasingly saying that since before the election. Like, as soon as that term got coined, it's just like, how much of this is just for tech companies?
Yeah, Sean Weiland would know more about this, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you were saying about regulatory capture?
Well, what I'm saying is, it's just like you have, and I guess this also kind of plays in with like Teal having like some setups with Argentina or whatever. But it's just like, if you're concerned about where the state of like the global superpower is going, and you think that you're either going to have yourself taxed to oblivion or regulated to where it does not benefit you from a certain part of the government, wouldn't it be in your best interest to like support the guy that's probably going to leave you the hell alone, or you think it's too stupid to care, and let you do whatever you do?
All these tech companies are kind of bidding that people in Washington are too stupid to care.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
So that's something to definitely consider.
But that's what I mean. Like everybody that thinks that Silicon Valley is filled with these high-tech visionaries that, you know, they're going to buck the trend of like what
some
happened.
Probably do exist, or some think that they are.
Right. But I think they're just following the model of every corporation that achieves a monopoly status, where they're just trying to find ways of like legalistically pulling up the ladder from everybody else. That's happened throughout human history. I don't see why this is any different with tech companies. Why? Because they share memes on Twitter. Is that why you think that they're different? Like, come on, fuck off. You know, like they're trying, like, obviously guys like Sam Altman and Elon Musk, they all want to find different ways to just nuance their way into pulling up the ladder for everybody else. I mean, what do you think every corporation did? You know, like it's, I know that's like not a huge truth nuke or anything, but these people obviously still have a lot of, you know, very standard and typical motivations for things. It's just, I think that a lot of people talk about them changing world history through technological means. And so we kind of neglect thinking about them like every other corporation. So, and then of course, yeah, like Sean Weiland, the AI race with China is just so they can secure a government bailout. No, 100%. Like then you could just, you know, some of the more smart people in Silicon Valley can play to the desires and wants of the Trump administration and say that, okay, you got to give us, you know, you have to basically let us do whatever we want or the Chinese are going to win. It's everybody, you know, I'm sure, you know, any company will say that, you know.
It's certainly a way to keep it going, because I mean, people have talked about for years and years and years now, or at least for the last at least the last 2 years, the question of an AI bubble or an AI winter, if things don't pan out the way that they do. And then like you just sort of look at the books or you look at what it's worth, and it's just like, eventually this is going to be unsustainable, right? And at the same time, it's just like, well, yes, you could probably argue that, and some people certainly have, and then others are arguing from a safetyism. But then at the same time, like, you know, a lot of law professors are moving closer, at least with a Stanford paper that came out earlier this month or last month, about like law professors were preferring Gemini 2.5 Pro responses over those written by their peers when they were in a blind study.
Gemini's all right. I hate Google, but Gemini is all right. I gotta admit, as much as Google is an evil corporation, like Gemini is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of the whole like Peter Thiel leaving for Argentina thing?
I mean, this isn't the first time he's like secured some kind of dual citizenship.
You know, like New Zealand,
from you know, everywhere.
Yeah. No, I
don't know. I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. or as far as he could throw his rent boy, off of a tall story building. But like, I just
yeah.
he's in a league and in a world so far of myself. Like guy who talks about the Antichrist while simultaneously may or may not, work with the forces of the Antichrist. I just, whatever you say about him, regardless of you're trying to find some epistemic substitution, saying like, oh, he's the devil, he's the Antichrist. For me, it's like he's in a league of in a world that I can't really comprehend. He is one of the most powerful people in the country, and by extension, like he's always going to look for a way out. And he has secured other avenues in case things go tits up in America for himself, and he can flee. Does that mean that like he's going to be able to take over Argentina? I have no bloody idea. But for me, at the very least, it certainly seems like you have a very friendly government in Argentina for you right now with Milei. Like, why not set up some escape routes, especially because like I don't think Silicon Valley is going to be powerful forever, and potentially, but I just think that my commentary has little. I'm not going to have the definitive take on Peter Thiel because I think that most of us don't have a solid take or understanding of the guy.
That's true.
So I mean, just he's securing escape routes, he's securing backups and fall-offs, because inevitably the left-wing governments in California will try and eat him alive. And he's probably worried for his life in a lot of ways too, because it's just like, you are one of the most powerful tech people on earth. Like, someone is probably trying to kill you all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I agree. I think like the most rational explanation is that like all these people, he's just it's probably nothing bigger. He's just trying to secure a landing zone in case something bad happens. I think people talking about, well, he sees the way things are going and he's got to cut and run. There could be something to that, but it's like, I do get the narrative that like, okay, here's your based right-wing tech overlords and they're leaving like a bunch of cowards. I think like if you trusted Silicon Valley people to be your monarch is sort of crazy to me. But I think it's mostly nothing burger. Like, I agree. It's just he's trying to secure a different location, like all these heads of corporations do, and Milei is giving these people an easy ride, and so it seems like a natural thing. I don't think he's got any I mean, he probably is scared, but I don't think it's
him
like,
and
he
him
knows
and Altman and the Anthropic people. They're the Bob Pages of our time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They're more like Bob Page and less like JC Denton. So, you're right. It's just he's trying to secure a landing zone. That's pretty. He's expanding a market. That's it.
Yeah.
And Milei is attracting a lot of like, for example, like a lot of Israeli tech firms,
storm and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of like Israeli tech firms are going there. A lot of like different. He's like doing the whole like anti-China thing too, so that's attractive to them. But I wouldn't like, another thing too is that I wouldn't discount the mercenary nature of a lot of Silicon Valley heads of CEOs. I think that if they predict that the Chinese are going to quote unquote win the tech war, I wouldn't put it past these people to just like cut and run to China either. So.
Well, they're doing so, they're doing so great, with everything that they need.
The Chinese have their equivalent.
It's amazing how you can do so well in this tech war without.
Yeah. The government just giving you billions of dollars.
Or 1 million H-1Bs.
Well, the Chinese, they have their own equivalent of the pineapple spears. They have like the spice rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They have all sorts of stuff like that.
Check in 20 hours. Okay. I can't check in yet on the plane. Bob Page was gay. No, some of these guys aren't gay. Some of them are, though. Yeah.
No, yeah, some of them are.
But I imagine, any movement he'd make, they would eat him alive. There's a good chance, yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Curtis Starvin, that is a pretty good one.
Well, I think that, Silicon Valley, I mean, they're obviously... I mean, I don't know. Do you think that in the future, like, say if the Democrats win, that they would start going back to, like, libtard censorship? They'd be like, okay, I know we had our fun, but...
We had our fun, guys. It's over.
It's over.
No, I don't think that would totally
Yeah.
I think, however, like if he can't get what he wants, he would probably leave or take his
Yeah.
toys and go home. But also, like, he's closely tied to the American government now. Like, I just don't see it leaving. I mean, whatever reasons that we can speculate on, it's not going to give. I think. I just don't think that we're going to get the real answer yet.
Well, I know we've done a lot of bashing of like the tech, right? But I do think that like even the Palantir stuff, a lot of that, the infrastructure.
I think it
of
also
working-
boils down to that most people can't give an accurate articulation as to what Palantir does.
Right, but a lot of their government contracts existed even before Trump, and so I think that they're
absolutely
more mercenary than people think. Like even like the whole narrative.
You have to be mercenary as hell to win and then keep government contracts, and you also
Yeah.
have to deliver.
Yeah, like even the narrative I see from certain people that I disagree with on the right, like that, you know, because Palantir and Peter Thiel like created JD Vance, and you know JD Vance is like Ukraine skeptic. Like Palantir has contracts with the Ukrainian government. It's not, these people don't really have same political principles that you could coherently fit into a neat little ideology. So, you know what I mean? Like the fact that, like, you know, yeah, Palantir works for Ukraine. I mean, if they would work with China, they would work with Russia. It doesn't really matter to them. Like any tech company, not just Palantir. It's just, you know, I think like like both people on the right that want to be pro Silicon Valley and people that are skeptical, I think, are vastly overestimating the political loyalties of a lot of people in Silicon Valley. These people are just, they would do whatever benefits them at the end of the day. I know that's not a truth nuke. I know that's a simplistic take.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. It's just like, no, these people are totally on board with being able to escape if it means they live.
Exactly. Yeah. So
the idea of loyalty to a country that has fundamentally destroyed what it means to be a nation, like what's in it for them?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the death of the company man. Like there is no such thing as the company man for anyone under the age of 45.
Yeah.
You know, like no one's going to give you the fucking watch after 10 years. No one's going to like, no one's going to lend their PTO time while you fight cancer, you know, with a company that could easily just replace you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like that stuff doesn't exist. And so you have to be mercenary, which means if you're mercenary, there's no loyalty except whoever pays you.
It does seem like a lot of people that work on the ground in Silicon Valley, like developers and coders, it seems that they're like contract, like movable gig economy people rather than I've worked at the same firm forever. It seems like that's a concept of the past. So, I mean, I don't know, is it like someone like Sean Weiland would know better than us, but it does seem like people that work in tech, they don't have, like you were saying, like I worked at the same company my father worked at. Like that's, you know, that's gone. So
yeah, like where I currently work now, the lady who I work right across from in my office, she is 66 years old. She's getting ready to retire, and she's very adamant, or like she just tells me all the time. She's like, you know, like my kids work their asses off to stay where they're at, and they've been at places for years. And it's like, you really do have to deliver, or like it's just nothing, because they view you as replaceable. Like even if you are a good worker, she's like, the company man doesn't exist anymore. She's like, I used to work for Caterpillar, and it wasn't like this back then. And she's just sort of lamenting, you know, sort of the death of like her working environment and what her and her husband used to do for a living. And it's just very interesting, because it's like, I've stayed at various jobs for 2 or 3 years, but like I will move in a heartbeat if it means that some place is paying me better, or like the health insurance is better. Because like at this point in time, it's just like, well, you know, there's no guarantee that this is going to stay solvent, or this is going to stay good, or this will last, unless you have something that has like real job security, like you're a pilot, or you're in the military, or you work in government, or you're an attorney, something with viable skills. The same thing with like the tech sector. Like you have things that can keep you making good money. That stuff just fundamentally doesn't exist. And of course, now we're in a place where there is no trust. There is constant, you know, how true these statistics are about how much of like the economic how many jobs have gone to like foreigners in the United States since COVID. It just kind of comes to show, it's like, no, like the young have either become totally disillusioned and they're like, fuck this, I don't want to work at all. Or they're like, I'm going to enjoy everything that I can by bouncing from place to place.
Yeah.
And that's really how it is.
Yeah, better job security, like that just destroys a lot of romantic ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know,
Like
it's like a
like the job security thing really does like put a hamper, I think, on a lot of things that we do, like even just like budgeting and stuff like that. Oh no, I'm not saying Coney. His
Cody
username,
what a
Coney.
username! Cody
What a
loves
what a
kids.
username. I read
Oh.
Neuromancer last year and it was peak. I really like Neuromancer. There's a lot of things with William Gibson
Oh,
I like.
yeah.
I wasn't saying it was bad. I'm just simply saying that like the world that Gibson describes in Neuromancer is, you know, not really the one that we live in today in terms of like what the future would hold. But yeah, 70% or more of the jobs in U.S. companies in Ireland are non-Irish too. That wouldn't really surprise me.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's this great. It seems that YouTube is going back to like just someone ranting for 20 minutes. That's what I'm doing. Like I'm doing more video where it's like 20, 30 minutes of just ranting on a single topic.
I've been
There's this.
recording so much fishing footage for this
Yeah.
reason. Be careful what fetishes you put into your book. So
Yeah.
true.
But there's this Irish YouTuber called Mossy. And I think he's only like in his 20s or something like that. But I was watching.
Is he the guy that does rants about like current TV shows?
No, he's like it's like a lot of like young men moving out of Ireland to Australia.
Okay.
And he like has like the COD zombie game footage while he's ranting.
Because there was this Irish chud who was doing a rant on, I want to say it was The Boys, or no, it wasn't The Boys. He was doing a rant on the new Punisher One Last Kill trailer. And it's just like, Frank Castle does not have a Jew for I was like, I'm like, wow, be careful saying that in Ireland, I guess.
Oh my God.
I'm
They're making a new Punisher?
Yeah, well, they got Joe Bernthal to come back, I guess, to do some fringe, one more run at the Punisher. Because I think he has been the most blatantly massacred character of any major Marvel property.
Oh, yeah. Well,
what's the point of moving from Ireland to Australia of all places? That's a really good question. I don't know.
A lot of young men in particular moved to Australia because of the jobs and because of they know a lot of people in Australia, and like it's a very bad situation in Ireland right now if you're a young person. It's just from what I've heard, it's like it's very expensive to live. A lot of these tech companies and like call banks that are there, they'd much rather hire a foreign worker than you. It's basically like the same situation.
Oh, it's just like America.
Yeah, but like even worse from what I've heard. There's a lot of Irish people in Australia, as there's a lot of Canadians in Australia, actually. But so, yeah, from what I've heard, like there is just, it's very like it's impossible for a younger person to buy a house or even like an apartment that, you're not subletting to other people. And so the situation's not good. It's like Canada, And
at the same time, speaking of now I'm gonna listen to okay. It is particularly interesting on our end also at the same time, to where like the creative activity of the average person has now witnessed their medium or genre of art and writing and posting to be now the default form of advertisement for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Like the Richard Nixon Foundation has a guy making like Nixon hype edits. Intel has a hype reel right now that looks very similar to stuff that you and I would have saw in right-wing Twitter 10 years ago. Like it's very strange to see that sort of stuff get adapted with the times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the edit is probably one of the most effective forms of, media propagandizing that I can think of.
It's like a corporation.
Like, for instance, like The Kingdom of Heaven is an atrocious film from 2005 that kisses the ass of Muslim savages and hates Christians. But
the Christians are the real barbarians.
And the Christians are the real barbarians. But like boy, oh boy, are there some hype edits to that film where it's like stayed in the consciousness of right wingers on Twitter for the last like 10 years.
The aesthetic
like,
truth of Kingdom of Heaven, yeah.
Yeah.
No, what's funny is that even the back rooms, I've seen corporations like fast food companies like McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's, they're like putting their logos in the back rooms. And I'm like, oh my God, that's something that the Kino Corner, he finally came up with a new video. It was about the back rooms.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
It was good because it shares a lot of my feelings on what I don't like about this film.
And he's like, are we just gonna get a creepypasta extended universe with Hollywood now? Is that what we're gonna do?
If that's the case, I'm for it.
Yeah. But I mean, they're going to turn into slop. That's the problem.
I mean, and he made a point, and I mean, I'm just gonna to reiterate it because it's something that I picked up on too. This isn't the first time that like a YouTube creative has gotten a video.
Oh yeah,
like if we go back to let's go back 10, no, not 10, not 20. Let's go back 15 years ago. 15 years ago.
Fred.
You got 3 Fred movies.
They're atrocious. I tried watching one on Tubi once.
Fred met Weezer.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, this is bad.
But this was at a time when getting like 100 to 250,000 subscribers was considered a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that was considered celebrity.
Well, like I said last week, Doug Walker was in like low budget horror films.
Yeah, and Doug Walker was also in Smiling Friends. And the guys that, defined the opinion of like a generation of people who hate the prequels, like Red Letter Media has also done a lot of like film and TV work,
Was James Rolfe in anything?
That's a good question. I don't probably. I don't know off the top of my head.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and then the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, and then
he's got
all sorts of other stuff. It's all there. So, but to see it like this was great. It is a shame. Like the best parts of the backroom film is the found footage sections, or what the camera stuff, like his actual videos.
Yeah,
and you only get that twice in the entire fucking movie. And like I said at the beginning, it is the most faithful adaptation of Silent Hill I have ever seen. And it is probably the best adaptation of Silent Hill you will ever get. End of discussion.
Well, if you want my opinion,
you watched a cam rip.
Yes, on YouTube. Yeah, I watched a cam rip on YouTube.
It is nuts that someone just put the whole cam rip on YouTube, and I don't think it's been taken down.
There is some that keeps getting taken down, but then they keep uploading it. Oh, by the way, I watched Bone Temple recently with my mother. I paid for it.
You paid for what?
The 28 years later Bone Temple.
Oh,
it was
isn't it on Netflix right now?
It's on Amazon Prime and Netflix.
Oh, okay.
So it was all right. I think like again they were trying to shoehorn a lot of the like Britpopper, like old school Labor Party type of themes, like with fedora tipping and like healthcare and stuff like that. I did like how Jim appeared, like spoiler alert, but Jim comes back in the last scene, and he's going to be in the third and final film. Cillian Murphy's character with his daughter, who is the daughter.
I noticed that was
of him and Selena. Yeah.
So, I noticed that he was at the end,
and he's in the same house that he left off. Which it's crazy because in the comic book, he, I think he dies. And Selena ends up going to America with another guy after she goes to war with this general.
Oil.
Yeah. The comic book that happened after 28 Days Later was quite interesting. I watched like a read through. But I guess Jim is alive in this one. They stay in the same place, but everyone assumed that some kind of NATO force were to have got to them when they saw the fighter pilot observing the UK.
Yeah.
So we'll see I guess they stayed there, and it's implied that Selena died and the other girl that was with them, Hannah, died. So we'll see what happens in the third film. Apparently it's going to come out next year. We'll find
out soon enough. I hope that he brings it kind of full circle and close.
Yeah.
And just let this end. Because
it's
just let it be.
Let it be. Yeah.
This is one of those times where it's like I don't think you actually need to add anything else more to this. Actually,
Yeah, you don't need like a Walking Dead type of, let's have this group elsewhere and over here, and it's like, no, it's just
yeah.
yeah. It would have been
But
nice to see like what Britain had looked like more instead of just focusing on the story of like the main characters. It would have been nice to explore like the mainland more, but they might do that in the third film. So
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm hopeful.
And of course, one of the zombies gets cured. What's his name?
Yeah, that was a trip.
That was interesting.
Not sure how I feel about that, but that was a trip.
Yeah. He's still a Giga Chad, though. He fights off all those zombies.
Yeah, he does.
So infected.
And he's kind of immune / cured. It's nuts.
Yeah. Oh, James Rolfe directs music videos?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Yes, indeed.
Is there any news about California and
No, the polls don't close for another 35 minutes, so we'll be off the air when the polls close.
All right.
But let's with that being said, let's go ahead and hit to the super chats. I think this will be you got to actually try and play it yourself.
I know.
I feel like you did yourself a disservice by just watching someone's long form playthrough.
I know, but I just got so frustrated. I was rusty,
I understand.
The controls were alien to me because I was so used to, for many years, having a controller, but not like a keyboard. I only
use the controller these days if I'm playing a Souls-like. Everything else has been mouse and keyboard.
No, because when I was a kid, I'm like, I can't play a video game with a keyboard and a mouse. I need a controller.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as always, chat, the Digital Archipelago is sponsored by viewers like you. Also, I need to record that 60 seconds, like in the arms of an angel promo for Geo Super Chats. But no, like if you want to use, I would prefer the Super Tip because it only takes a 10% percentage rather than YouTube's 30%. And so I think that's sort of definitely the better way to go for it. A Coles like, I love my Coles likes. Okay, I enjoy my Elden slop so much. It's enjoyable. But with that being said, we will head over to the super chats. Geo has a new video out today. I will be recording a video. I'll probably just record my Backrooms review rather than just post it on Substack. That'll probably come out later this week, probably on Friday. Geo, do I just tell them or do I just surprise them?
Just surprise them.
Just surprise them for Friday?
Yeah, surprise them.
Yeah, I'll surprise them for Friday.
Go.
So yeah, I will you're in for a treat, I guess, on Friday. So I'll be live somewhere, to say the least. And then other than that, Gio has a video out. I'll have the recorded version out for the Backrooms review, and then I'll just put that out for channel members, and then I'll just have it premiere next week. And then on the 24th, at the end of the month, Dimes and I are reviewing a fun little book. We're reviewing Cunt, A Declaration of Independence. So have fun with that.
Oh, can I be involved in
that? Talk to Dimes. But we're gonna review it, and then I think we're gonna go and review some pro-transhumanist stuff. We more or less have the entire year planned out. So it's gonna be fun for books that we're going to review. We're going to hopefully try and cover Thomas Moynihan's other book. I feel like we could get the author to come on because his publishing house knows who we are.
There you go.
So we'll see what happens. But Deus Ex is not a controller game. It's not. It's a mouse and keyboard game.
Shit.
Yeah. Also, don't wear shorts for ticks. Don't do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Buy Dr. Benz.
By Dr. Benz.
Yeah, the tick spray, like spray.
Yeah. I mean, I've got bug spray. It helps a lot, but I just wear pants and boots.
Yeah,
and just I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go head over to the super chats, and then we'll just get started from here. I'll start with the YouTube ones, and then we will continue on with the ones over on Super Tips or supertip.gg, which is great. Which is the pinned comment in chat. I see that Seneca has already sent us our Missouri lore for the month, but I will save that for the end. Randall Shirker starts us off. The introduction of Deus Ex has more political theory in 2 minutes than the entirety of BreadTube has made in its existence.
It's true.
I will.
It's true.
As true as that is, Randall Shirker, it has also given us like 5 years of like really good Dave Green content. So I really, BreadTube has got its silver lining. It gave me Dave Green content. Randall Shirker says, a bunch of pretentious old men trying to play at running the world, but the world left them behind long ago, and we are the future. Still true in 2026. Yeah, that's very true. You know, Aquinas spoke of that mythical city on the hill, and soon that city will be a reality, and we will be crowned its kings, better than kings, gods. It's so it's a banger. I'm not gonna lie. The intro to Deus Ex is just really good. Our good friend Zyra, for being a channel member for 18 months. Thank you for your continued support. You guys get to see all the video game streams and all of the videos that I put out early, so you will be seeing the Backrooms review early. So the channel membership is a really great way to see videos early. Same way with Substack, as well as long form and long-term support over on Subscribestar, which you can use by scanning the lovely QR code at the top left corner. Randall Shirker continues. He says, Warren Spector, lead guy on the game, basically said it was all the surveillance stuff and X-Files and listening to Art Bell that was his inspiration. And then he continues and he says Bill Cooper's ideas as well. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Behold a Pale Horse is referenced quite often in this in the game. Is it going to be a white boy summer? Well, it's certainly going to be one hot, awful political summer for sure. We'll see what happens.
Do you think?
Well, they're currently rioting in Southampton right now. Or they
were.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like,
the midterms coming up.
Make the most of the time that you have, whether it's getting involved locally or making money or, you know, just having fraternity. Make the most of it. And honestly, like, if you want it to be a white boy summer, make it white boy summer. Don't let anyone stop you.
We're not doing smoke show. We're not saying that anymore.
We ain't going to the Shape Store, boys. We're going to the beach.
I love what Chad is. He said, it's like, we're not saying smoke show anymore. No more salmon pink. That was
make
crazy,
the most of it. I'm gonna say, you know what time it is. You know what you need to do. They planned for you to be able to side with Bob Page, but that ending got cut near the end of development because of the additional work it required. I would love to see that come back. Actually,
if like you made JC Denton do a heel turn,
like if you were to side with Bob Page and actually work for UNATCO, it'd be interesting. Gabe Underground, he says, the writer of the game, Sheldon, we mentioned this earlier as well. But yeah, it's Sheldon Picotti. He had said that he pays tribute to two of his major influences, Borges and Pynchon. They're in there for certain, to say the least.
Well, even like the global panopticism is very present in Boris. So
people
were just rediscovering House of Leaves later, so hopefully my videos.
I've noticed that lately because like I feel like every other year, House of Leaves gets this really big discursive moment in the timeline.
They can never make a movie about it, though.
Oh, of course not.
It wouldn't be like they could, but it would have to be like either a mini series or it would have to be like they would butcher it. Like they would have to make the most like simplistic version of House of Leaves. Like they would have to either focus on the Novitzin records and like totally leave out Johnny Truant, or they would just have to focus on like the psychodrama between Johnny Truant and his mother. Unless you made it into like a mini series or a limited series. But it's a notoriously difficult book to transcribe into a film. Yeah. So yeah, the Kevin Bacon one, like we reviewed that on Drive Time Movie Night. It was not good. It was like, again, it was just a psychodrama.
I don't ever really trust them to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. They could make
Videograms. What a great username. $5 Canadian. Deus Ex is extraordinary, fitting, poetic game of the year, lead up into the 21st century. Second game, Invisible War, not so great.
It is a game that really did lead to the 21st century in a lot of ways.
It's the perfect opener to the 21st century.
Yeah.
Like if there's a fictional environment in terms of politics that I feel like kind of mirror our own in a mirror darkly kind of way, it's
the AI
Deus Ex.
stuff.
Yeah. Randall Sugar says the Deus Ex sequels are good games, to be clear. They're just not good Deus Ex games. They failed to capture what made the original unique. That is what I felt. I think I was playing, what was it, Mankind Divided or Human Revolution that's in my library alongside Deus Ex. They're not the same. They try to, and they do a little homages to the first game, but they don't have it.
Are
to
they
say the
just
least.
like, what are they? Just mostly shooters or strategy
No,
games?
they
or-
Mankind Divided and Human Revolution, or at least which one do I actually? Let me check my Steam library. Hold on. Human Revolution is certainly tries to be more of what Deus Ex was in comparison to like Invisible War, which was like an action shooter, but
Oh,
it
I see.
still misses the mark on what it is. It's still very
Yeah.
it just doesn't have the same spirit. Videogram says Geo should play more, but selectively good games. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
He
that's
should.
true.
I want
Yeah.
Geo to play games. Geo has to play a Japanese visual novel now.
How
We
do you even
both do.
play that? You just click?
I think so.
Good.
I think
okay,
you
it's
just
easy.
click. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll find out. That's really all I can say is so I don't know, because I've never played a visual novel either. So you and I are in for a treat because we both have to review that. Run the numbers on What Did Ilya See video is a good primer on AI, both in terms of history and what OpenAI was doing. Well, I will definitely go have to give that video a watch, Randall Shirker, to say the least. And then over on to the super tips, which I think we've just got the one for the night, and then I think we're good to go. He says, Missouri lore. George Caleb Bingham is primarily known for his art, but he also served as the state treasurer during the 1830s. Famously, he opposed the Mormon expulsion order promulgated by Governor Lilburn Boggs. Well, I don't even know who this guy is in terms of artist now. I'm going to go look him up. Because I don't know. What is he known for as an artist? He is recognized as one of the most important American artists of the 19th century. Known in his lifetime as the Missouri artist, he distinguished among the first generation of paintings in the American West for classic narrative scenes drawn from his observation and experience.
Oh, I've seen him before.
Boatman on the Missouri. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. Jolly Flatboatman. I've seen that one before.
Yeah, yeah. I think if I recall, Trump has a painting, or it was one of the official White House paintings under Trump that
oh yeah, I have seen a lot of his paintings. The county election, Stump speaking.
I've seen The Storm. I think I may have seen one of his paintings in real life with my girlfriend once.
And then, of course, the other Washington crossing the Delaware.
That's the other Washington one.
Yeah, the one I know the most, though, that I instantly recognized was the Jolly Flatboatman.
That is, I think, his most famous one. Yeah.
And now I don't feel so crazy. Wingman says I stopped kissing my wall for this. That's a heck of a. Hi chat, cool dude reporting in. Well, we have a lot of cool dudes in chat, so we're fans of that. Someone paid Geo to play mixtape. No.
Oh my god,
we don't do that.
What's there to play? You don't play it. You just watch it.
You don't play.
I get the nostalgia bait aspect, but I mean we've covered this stupid drywall.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. What tech company do you think is most like UNATCO?
What tech company is most? Well, UNATCO is like a UN extension. I mean, who is the closest thing to Page Industries is the real question. Who's the Bob Page of our time?
Microsoft. They're getting
into Bill Gates feels like Bob Page could be Bill Gates from like 20 years ago.
Yeah, like they're getting into a lot of like biotech and life extension and.
I mean, NVIDIA, maybe? No. The Department of Homeland Security is UNATCO. That is true.
Yeah.
It's wild that we got our own UNATCO at home. We just called it DHS right after 9/11.
Oh my god. When was that when DHS was created?
Yeah, DHS is the newest cabinet position made because it wasn't a cabinet level executive thing until after 9/11.
Oh my god. I didn't know.
Yeah, it was founded after the attacks.
Oh my god.
I didn't. Yeah.
Not a very good run.
Says, I hope that you guys love the visual novel. God bless you both. I mean, I've never played a visual novel, or I don't know literally what you would call it. I saw Oz. Thank you. No, it's okay, cool dude. There's always the VOD. Like we cover all sorts of stuff, aka just like Deus Ex predicted. Yeah, so true.
Homelancer.
But it happens, you know.
Oh god, yeah, Michael Chertoff, what a character.
Oh man, what a wild time to say the least. Let me check that.
What was a wild time?
No, so I mean, unfortunately, we'll have to wait to see who the winner is for tomorrow. We can cover that next week.
Yeah.
The Department of Romance Security. Now that would be fun. Actually, if there was going to be another YouTube online game or content that should get a movie, or I feel like you could do probably like There Is No Anti-Memetics Division. I know it got like a short film on YouTube that's pretty good. But
What's
like
this visual novel called again, Oswald?
The Witch and the Holy Night.
The Witch and the Holy Night.
He gifted it to you.
Okay. I gotta check my Steam account.
We have no excuse.
Oh my god.
There's some Lovecraft visual novels, not bad. But yeah, there was a big tweet that went popular a while back where it's like, well, what 4chan creepypastas are going to be the next big film hit? And I'm not too sure.
Maybe that creature that like you can't look away from it or else it'll kill you in the dirty room, that alien. Oh, that's another thing about Deus Ex, the aliens. The best is the guys like, they were bred in cages, so they don't know if there is another planet out there. I fucking hated the aliens. They were bastards. Like the Greys. They were bred in cages. Who knows if they're experiments? They actually came from, another planet. They don't know. They're like, subhuman retards.
Oh yeah, and everything's in Area 51.
Yeah, Area 51.
And Vandenberg Air Force Base. So like all of your favorite
yeah.
It's there you go.
We're like breeding. There's like a gray alien breeding.
We're kind of breeding aliens,
but they're like sub IQ violent retards. That's like, they're like monsters. They're not like actual gray aliens. There was one guy,
because we have also these like kind of velociraptor chicken things.
Yeah. Oh god, I hated those too. Yeah. There was one guy who was an army officer who claimed that he worked at Area 51 and that there was a gray alien that went loose and had some kind of ray gun and hit one of his men who lived but then got cancer because he was hit by the gray alien ray gun. So I don't know if that's true. It's probably
why not?
Why not? It's true. I believe it's true. I'm not like all the other rightoids that counter signal the UFO stuff. Okay. I still believe. I was listening to Art Bell and then later.
Oh, what do they call them? Transgenic creatures.
Yeah, transgenic creatures.
Transgenic creatures.
There you go. Okay, I was faithful to Coast AM, an alien documentary.
Oh yeah, the Greasel.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Well, the White House disclosed that there's 4 different alien species. There's the reptilians, the Greys. Ones that kind of look like sharks, or not sharks. They look like there's the reptiles, the Greys. They look like Aryans. Another one. There's a 4th.
So true.
Anyways,
the Grabblers, the Greeblers,
the tall white boys.
They're inventing new things for Howling Mutant to sexually harass. That's so true, Pac-Man Respector.
Did you see the one Howling Mutant tweet where it's like, what other 4chan posts can be made into a movie with lore? And it was I can't even say
the Howling Mutant biography.
No, the one post on 4chan about the guy who's got a gay Down syndrome brother.
Oh yeah.
I can't even say it. It's just
I know exactly which one you're referencing. I'm
only
good.
Fucking Howling Mutant could come up with that one.
Anime will be real with the I Lamau chick. That's so true. Honestly, some random YouTubers just gonna do documentaries about old internet celebrity and just be like, I want you. Do you remember the like Where Are They Now documentaries about like old like wash up kind of actors?
Yeah,
from like the 80s.
No, they do that. That's like Gamer from Mars does that. Where like what happened to these old YouTubers?
Could you imagine doing a Where Are They Now, but it's like for Boxy?
The Boxy did an interview for one social media company a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go find it.
I heard, like, can you imagine just like, okay, imagine this, like schizo Instagram, like a black schizo Instagram conspiracy theorist, like Schizogram, where he's like, I heard they was breeding cat girls in Area 51.
Yeah, I just like the idea of like a schizophrenic black nerd who's just like best girls up in Area 51. I've seen her.
Yeah. And he's like the glider pilot that was like called into Coast to Coast. He claimed that he was flying over Area 51 and they shot him down. You remember that one?
I saw, I also speaking because I know we covered Code Chaos a while back. Apparently, my YouTube feed is like, you want to see this like YouTube documentary about John Teeter, and I was like, I'm interested.
Yeah,
I'll probably watch it later.
Yeah, John Teeter predicted that Area 51 they're going to breed cat girls.
That's right.
Yeah,
but then because of him informing us of this, the timeline changed and it's over.
Yeah, they have a new photo of Leafy. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Oh man.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we have one more super chat that came in, and it is from our good friend Charlie Mackey, who is on his end of things. He says, "Good evening. I hope you are both well. Consider this prude's $100 to review Claw of the Conciliator."
Whoa!
So that's very generous of you, Charlie Mackey. But I am already reading it, so consider that review fulfilled. Gio and I, in a future episode, will be reviewing Claw of the Conciliator. I really did enjoy it. As someone who's never read any Gene Wolfe, I was at the bookstore earlier last Friday waiting for time to pass to go buy my movie ticket. My local bookstore, big gross chain, Barnes & Noble, did not have any Gene Wolfe in the science fiction section. It's very disappointed. It had all sorts of Bryan Sanderson in the science fiction fantasy area. But yeah, it'd be fun. I'm looking forward to reading it. I already own a copy, so I'm like 50 pages in, so I'm having fun. Tubi movie about hood weebs breaking into Area 51 and discovering that Saiyans are real and trapped there.
Well, there's plenty of like black cinema.
I could just imagine like a group of black podcasters that are like, "Nah, man, Goku's real and he's in Area 51. That's where all our dads go."
Oh,
that would make for a great Tubi original. That's
that
all I'm
would
gonna
be.
say.
Yeah, those like FBA movies on Tubi are great. Like they're like, it's like pure Kino. Like it's they're like the equivalent of like Quan Mills books.
We got a free Goku from the government.
Oh man,
oh, that'd be fun. That would be fun.
They're like these black weebs are breaking into Area 51 to get their best girls, and then like kidnap a scientist. Like, you gotta make Ray right now. Like you gotta make Oscar right now.
Oh my gosh, that'd be a fun time.
And then like the general would be like some kind of knockoff. Like he'd be like he would kind of look like the guy from Avatar. Like he was consciously trying to like get an actor to like mimic the guy from Avatar, the general.
Oh yeah.
We getting spirit bombs. Oh my god, we have so many movie ideas.
You know how there used to be the whole like the official Twitter account of like America's last blockbuster. This would be a great gimmick account for anyone who wants to take it up and embrace their inner like esoteric racist on Twitter. Would be to America's last shape store.
Oh my god.
Like, you remember the shape store from the 90s? Well, we're the last one left, and you can find us in Birmingham, Alabama. And then you just post about what it's like running the last like shape store, and how like, you know, Unk comes in every now and then with like a bottle of a 40, and he's just like reminiscing on like the trapezoid.
It wasn't like back in the 90s. It wasn't like back in 2001, man, when this place is popping off. It wasn't like it. You know, it's like nobody's there anymore. That's like true. That one shape store edit from Infinite Archive on Instagram where it was like the grimy display case, like the dirty glass display case. It was like that. Yeah. Oh my god. They find the gay you-know-whats from outer space.
I'm just saying, this would be a great Twitter account idea. Is just like the last shape store in America.
Yeah, man, that was like that one account I remember Common Filth used to talk about on Twitter. It's no longer active.
No, it's not.
American
in the same way. What was it like? Was it Nihilist RBs or whatever?
Oh, it was that one, but there was one called American Ambience that was like before Zante in Mytho America. Yeah, it was called American Ambience. that was peak. That was like before Zante created Mytho America. And before you have all these other accounts like Summer of 2007, Dreamland USA, American Ambiance. Like, again, people don't realize, I know, because like he he went against certain other E-Celeb factions, Common Filth, right? He created like a lot of right-wing internet culture for good and for bad. Like the whole like white girls and dogs thing, that's bad. But, like, in terms of him discovering new cultural stuff that then later influenced, like, for example, a lot of the edit culture, like the only way I heard about Nobody TM was from Common Filth. The only way I heard about American Ambience was from Common Filth. Like he did create like he did punch above his weight when it came to like the later niches of like right-wing internet culture. Some for good, some for not. So, rest in peace. So yeah.
Well, we'll be live next week.
We're taking a break, aren't we?
No. We're good.
I might not be here next week.
You may not be here next week. Okay, well, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. It all depends on our schedule. I'm busy this weekend and next weekend. I will be live on Friday. It's a surprise. I think it's a big surprise, but I think y'all will enjoy it very much, or at least I'm certainly going to try my best to. Other than that, I will have the Backrooms review out for channel members and such later this week. And then Dimes and I already have our stuff scheduled for the 24th this month. Gio and I will be back to review Claw of the Conciliator, depending on when our schedules align, because I think you're going to be in the States seeing the lady.
Yeah.
Good man.
So,
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We always do. We figure it out. Some say we're never going to figure it out, but this show knows how to figure it out.
We'll eventually figure it out. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Oh,
this is the only plan I trust.
The DA plan, exactly.
You only got to trust the DA plan. That's what they call it. The DA plan. Good times read by all. But yeah, we'll see you all as soon as we figure out what the heck our schedules are going to be. I'll see y'all on Friday. And then until then, we'll see y'all next time.
God bless. Goodbye. Too sweet.
See you, gents.